Ah, Animal Crossing. The game that's keeping most of the population sane while 2020 burns outside our windows. Like many fans of the franchise, I have a very special place in my heart for Animal Crossing. See? I put it right there. Growing up, I loved video games, but I didn't have very many friends. Sad. And within those few friends, most of them weren't super into video games. Sad. So I grew up playing games either alone or with my brother. Sad. What I'm getting at is, I'm not used to being able to connect with people over video games, let alone get to experience them with my friends together. But the one game that my few friends did play was Animal Crossing Wild World on the DS. I remember playing Animal Crossing for hours, days, sometimes mostly weeks in a row during summer vacation with my best friend Kate. It was always the highlight of our summer, and depending on your point of view, that may or may not be depressing. My family also used to have a tradition to visit the rest of my family in Canada every July, so my brother and I would continue to play Animal Crossing with our cousins. Nothing could stop us. Not even the great borders of the United States of America. We had this game we made up where we all meet up at one person's town, dig a bunch of holes in the shape of a maze, and then one of us would chase the others around with a bunny hood, gas mask, and axe, like some sort of morbid tag. We called it the Bunny Game, which looking back was a bit misleading in the innocence of the actual premise. When Animal Crossing New Leaf was released, Kate and I got our hands on it the day of our high school sophomore prom, and we very much wanted to ditch it entirely just for the game. It's not like we had dates or anything, but we ended up going anyway, and it was lame. All in all, I love Animal Crossing. I get that it's not a game for everyone because of its slow pace and open-ended nature, but it was one of the few games I got to experience with friends on a really deep level and collected a bunch of fond memories with. Now we have New Horizons, the game that parted the clouds and descended upon us when the world needed it most. I like the game a lot. I've got my gripes, which I'll get to at some point, but while playing the game, I started thinking about the original, Animal Crossing for the GameCube. I had a GameCube growing up, but my mom didn't buy Animal Crossing for us, so that meant I had no idea it existed. That's just how the world worked for me back as a kid. If my mom didn't buy it for me, then it didn't exist. So now, as an adult, I've started to make the connection that not only do I have my own money to buy my own video games, but I can do whatever I want, mostly. And using that newfound power, I've decided to go back to the basics and experience firsthand the beginning of one of my favorite game franchises. What's changed? What secrets have been hiding from me? Well, I guess we're about to find out together. The classic train scene. Rover walks over and asks if he can sit with me, promising not to fall asleep and drool on my shirt, to which I reply, "No way!" Wow, it's nice to know there's still plenty of rude people in the world, and he sits there anyway. So you go through the typical beginning of an Animal Crossing game. Who are you? I'm Jaiden. Where are you going? Mustard. What's your credit card number and mother's maiden name? September 27th. My friend has a house for you because you're stupid. Okay. You arrive in town, meet Tom Nook, and he offers to let you check out the vacant houses he's got. Let's see. We've got medieval torture dungeon, haunted backyard garden shed, Chinese sweatshop locker room, and 15th century empty pool. Yeah, I'll take a locker room, please. After settling on a place, Tom Nook asks for the payment of 19,800 bells, to which I realize I have nothing, so I'm like, no. And he's like, you better freaking give me the money. So I'm like, here, to which he realizes I barely have even 0.05% of what he wants from me, and he straight up laughs in my face. You only have 1,000 bells? You're joking with me, right? Why, you're so short, I can't help but laugh. So he puts me to work at his shop to earn the rest of the money. You get various tasks to complete for Nook, be it planting nice flowers around his shop to make it look nice. I planted them around my house. Meeting the other villagers, making deliveries. Bro, when I delivered this Sue chick her, signed copy of the Notebook on Blu-ray or whatever junk she ordered, she completely just destroyed me out of nowhere. Boy, that's mine. Why do you have it, Jaiden? Are you working for Tom Nook or something? Oh, you are? How amusing. You mean to tell me you didn't have enough money to buy a house when you moved? Well, how silly. Were you the mental run to the litter or what? Oh, I'm just having a little fun with you. I suppose everyone has to take a bold step once in their lives. So, you must not have any money to buy furniture. Don't be ashamed. Here, take this blue wardrobe. You simply must take it. I bet you go home to a sad little empty house every day, don't you? It may not be much, but beggars can't be choosers. And that's when I realized how absolutely brutal this game had the capability of being. I heard that it could be sassy at some points, but I was straight up murdered by this gothic drag queen pig just for being a delivery boy. You can't say that to the, Amazon Prime delivery guys. What the heck? That's how you get your stuff smashed. So you know what I did? I sent the biggest guy in town, Rocco, a letter and used my smooth talking skills to try and send him a signal and take care of her. And just in case that didn't work out, I made a community bulletin board post to warn the others. After you finish being a corporate wage slave, the game finally becomes the Animal Crossing experience I'm used to. Catching bugs, finding fossils, waiting an entire week for Tom Nook to finally sell a stupid fishing rod. I'll admit, coming from New Horizons, the original Animal Crossing doesn't have much to offer. Maybe it held up better in the past, or I was able to have more fun with it because I was younger and easier to be entertained, but I found myself strapped on things to do. Sure, I could fish for 2 hours straight to make money, but I could also just play another game. Why I think New Horizons is the best game in the series so far, big asterisk on the so far, is that it saw where players were taking the franchise and ran with it far beyond what we could have hoped for. Oh, people really enjoy being able to customize their house and are using the little pattern spaces to make cool paths for their town? Well, then let's give them a bigger town, and more pattern spaces, and hundreds of new and modernized furniture items, and let them put them outside wherever and however they want, and let's let them shape the earth and sea. I've put hundreds of hours into New Horizons already, and I'm not nearly done with the game. My island still looks like crap. I played the original Animal Crossing for a week or two, and could only put at max an hour into it per day, because I ran out of things I wanted to do. Oh, so New Horizons is the most superior game in every possible way, right? Ha ha ha, no. While New Horizons has much more for you to do, the thing I think the original Animal Crossing got right that the new one doesn't is the villagers. Since I would get bored of continuously failing at fishing in the GameCube version, I found myself talking to the villagers much more often, and that's where I had the most enjoyment. The conversations with the villagers in the GameCube version have so much flavor. Sure, Sue called me a mental runt of the litter just a minute ago, but that brought out something in me that New Horizons hasn't been able to do within 300 hours of me playing. Talking to the villagers in the GameCube version made me remember why I liked the game so much as a kid. They say and do interesting things. I don't know if it's just me, but New Horizons has some of the blandest text I've seen in Animal Crossing yet. It feels like what they say is limited to 5 things, and I honestly don't enjoy talking to them and haven't built a single connection to any of them on my island. I don't care who moves in, just so long as they're really super hot. I'm talking hunkalicious. Feels like it's been raining all the time lately. I hate getting wet. Jaiden, you feel the same, right? No, actually, I don't really mind. Oh, really? Well, why don't you just stay in the rain then, since you love it so much? And I hope you catch a cold! I don't know what it is about me, but I seem to be just as popular with boys and girls. It's madness. Meanwhile, in New Horizons, hi, Jaiden. Sometimes I like to sit. No, I don't want any! I'm telling you for the last time, you foul creature! Go away, hippie! Oh, wait, it's just you. I thought it was another one of those weirdos handing out tissues. Hi, Jaiden. I've been having a good day. All right, see you later. Shrivel up and blow away, shrimp! At one point, I walked up to Sue, and she just started screaming. I'm begging you! Would someone please change that hideous town tune? Jaiden, I highly doubt you have a talented bone in your body, but you do seem to be able to run fast. So be a dear and go change that horrible music, would you? So, of course, I changed the town tune. Anything for Sue, her wish is my command. I'll say, normally I'm not a big town tune changer in the games, but this one made me laugh. Is that better, Sue? You like that? I wasn't expecting to have an arch nemesis in Animal Crossing again, because it hasn't happened to me since Wild World, but Sue really just came into my life and slapped me around, begging me to hate her. Say, didn't you owe Tom Nook a fairly large sum of money? I was just wondering, did you ever manage to pay him back? Well, what's it to ya? Whoa, you seem a little touchy, Jaiden. I guess you're still just a burden to society. But that's what Nintendo got wrong in the new games. I want drama. I want enemies and bloodshed. The animals in New Horizons feel like just objects for me to judge on appearances and get items from. All in all, I very much like Animal Crossing. I know New Horizons isn't for everyone and is far from perfect, but I'm a big fan of the type of game it is, and the cons don't outweigh the pros for me. Do I wish the villagers had a shred of life to them? Yes. Do I hate the new music they wrote for it and desperately want to have the old music back? Yes. But I can put my Godzilla statues together like they're on a date. Is the old Animal Crossing lacking in objectives and even slower than I could have imagined? Yes. But at least I get verbally abused by my neighbors and can hit Sue-E with my net. So if you haven't heard, oh god, Ari. So if you haven't heard, James just announced his new game, Cafe Chaos. It's a turn-based card game where you build food combinations and try to win a food fight against your opponents. There's different abilities and characters you can play as, and if you get the animator expansion pack, you can find me in there with Ari and a lot of other animators. My food card is pasta with no sauce. It's a fun game James and his team worked really hard on, and what else are you gonna do during quarantine? You can check out more details by going to the Kickstarter. I put the link in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I didn't know what to expect going into the game, but I'm sure glad I did, because that was a whole experience. Alright, talk to you later, bye.
At this point, you all know how I am about my special interests. My super addictive personality takes over, and I can get just a little passionate about things my brain becomes attached to. I just can't help myself. When I like something, I want to be completely surrounded by it at all times. Is that such a crime? No, it's not. I'm just enjoying life. You should try it sometime. My hyperfixations have always come in waves. None of them ever truly go away. They'll have their burst for a few months and then lay dormant in my head until something triggers them again. But guys, there's been a shift. The big one. It's finally happened. I've stumbled onto something that I have not been able to let go of. My brain has latched onto this new hyperfixation so tightly that even after several months, my obsession has only gotten stronger. It's this little guy called Chikoa. When Jacob and I were in Japan, August 2023, I saw these silly little figurines in a claw machine. They were funny and cute, so I got one and proceeded to carry it around in my pocket for the remainder of our Japan time. But as the trip went on, I continued to see this tiny white creature almost everywhere. Plushies and collectibles lined almost every store, posters, collabs, manga. Whatever this thing was, it was absolutely a big deal. And with every glance, something deep within me, some overwhelming force, urged me to buy as much as I could. I didn't know a single thing about this character, but it was addiction at first sight. This is a picture of the Chikoa haul I took back home to give you a visual of how much I descended into Chikoa madness after just 3 weeks of exposure. And as an update, this is my current Chikoa collection, a year and a half after my first encounter with the creature. The brainworms have fully taken over, and I am actively still desperate to obtain more. Coincidentally, a few months ago, the very first Chikoa pop-up shop came to America, and since it overlapped with my birthday, I made all my friends go to it and watch me buy everything. It was the best birthday ever. To anyone who isn't familiar, Chikoa comes from an online manga created by Nagano. The series hasn't really made its way to America yet, but it is huge in Japan. I'm desperately hoping this video will get more of the Western audience interested in Chikoa because I need it to be here. I cannot keep buying scalped merchandise through eBay. My bank account is melting. Please, Chikoa, I'm begging. But Jaiden, this looks like any other of those cute Japanese character mascots. What makes Chikoa so special? Look, unenlightened viewer, just sit back and let me spoon feed you the incredible world of Chikoa. I will bear the cross of spreading the Chikoa propaganda. Heed my gospel, if only this one time. So, Chikoa, what is this thing? It looks pathetic and puntable. And you are very right. Good job on that one. The word Chikoa can be translated to something small and cute. And this is the introduction to the manga. I want to become something like this. some kind of small and cute creature. If someone gets mad at me, I want to cry like this and run away. When I get tired, I want to cry and fall asleep. If something makes me happy, I want to dance like this. I want to become something like this, some kind of small and cute creature, and then get something like a big cream puff and bury myself in it while feasting. Then I want to cry because I got cream all over myself and ran out of cream puffs. Gently clean myself and then fall asleep while reminiscing. I want to become something like this, some kind of small and cute creature. And then on a rainy day, or when I'm carrying a lot, or when my legs are tired, I want to fall over and cry, and be picked up in a cart like this, and then get tossed inside my house. So right away, you kind of get who Chikawa is. It's tiny and pitiful in every way, with simple wants like good food and compliments. It's emotional and cries at the smallest inconveniences. I feel like at its core, Chikawa is a personification of the human desire to simply give in to the inner child's wants and emotional needs with no filter or judgment. It's extremely refreshing compared to the hustle and bustle of daily human life. After these first pages, the manga starts to take shape and becomes more like a traditional series with actual panels, new characters, and eventually there's even story arcs too. But sometimes a page is just about a character making good food, eating it, and enjoying it. And I love that. When I read Chikawa, it makes me feel like I'm timing out for a moment. I enter this world where life is simple and everything slows down. Each little moment and feeling gets to be highlighted. It helps to remind me to savor the joys of the smallest experiences life has to offer. Even though some parts of Chikawa's world are unrealistic, like rice cookers found in bushes that always refill with rice, or a magical geyser that spits out fun candy, it's not a complete escape from reality because it still offers very real experiences. At one point, Chikawa sees that its friend Hachiware has a cool weapon to protect itself from dangerous creatures. Inspired, Chikawa goes out and gets a job where it pulls weeds for money. After some time and hard work, it gets to show Hachiware they now have a matching weapon of their own, celebrating and playing with them together. Not everything that happens in the world of Chikawa is good, though. Sometimes the characters work hard and fail anyway. Watching their tiny minds struggle to deal with defeat is such a whiplash because you definitely expect nothing bad to ever happen to them. I have to admit, the manga has made me cry on multiple occasions. No judging unless you've read it too. But when they do succeed, you really get to slow down and appreciate their effort to achieve things. It's so rewarding to watch them come out on top. You get to celebrate the characters' little achievements with them. I don't remember the last time I felt this happy even achieving something for myself. And here I am getting the warm fuzzies over a creature eating ramen with its best friend. I don't mean to make it seem deeper than it is, but Chikawa really makes me feel like I need to slow down and let myself feel more fulfilled by the smaller wins life has to offer. This manga is just so charming. Something about how Nagano draws these things makes me both extremely happy and also laugh really hard. This is one of my favorite pages in all of Chikawa. Hachiware and Chikawa are running with their container of sushi, excited to get home and eat it together, but Hachiware trips and falls, completely ruining the sushi inside. And the face Chikawa makes absolutely kills me. I use it to message my friends all the time. It's just such a specific portrayal of this tiny, pitiful creature's feelings. I cannot get over it. Hachiware then decides to mix the sushi together and they get to eat it as rice bowls. Happy ending. I'm trying to explain it, but you really just have to read it yourself. I love the art. I love the content. I love how I feel when I'm consuming it. I have to buy merch. Looking at them, you probably think all the characters are all just sweet little cute things and don't really have distinguished personalities, but you couldn't be more wrong. This one's actually an alcoholic. Let me show you my personal favorite because, yeah, surprise, surprise, it's actually not Chikawa. This is Momonga. It's the complete opposite of what you would expect a character in this series to be like. It's selfish, needy, always telling everyone what to do. The complete opposite to Chikawa. Momonga should be absolutely insufferable. But at the same time, it also has this burning desire to act and be perceived in the most cute and likable way possible. It has no idea how social norms work. It is simply a conversational tornado, and I love it so much. I get the feeling I look really cute. Look! 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 Hey, you're bumping into them. The thing falls down. They made them cry. Will they apologize? Look, compliment me. They're terrible. Momonga might not be for everyone, but something about how unapologetically bratty it is lights up my world when I see it on the page. Like, look at this single panel. Creature lying on the floor, crying. Someone is wondering if it's gonna apologize for pushing it down. And Momonga is just standing there, not giving a single shit. I wish I could be Momonga. As you saw in my collection, I have a handful of Momonga things too. I just like buying Chikawa stuff more. There is a Chikawa anime too, and I like it. It's great at bringing the world to life. I still recommend reading the manga first, so you get to really appreciate the personality and charm of the drawings. But if you would simply rather watch cartoons than read, then absolutely go for it. I totally get it. I just want you to consume it one way or another, so it becomes popular in the West and they bring the merch here so I can buy it all. What's funny is the anime episodes are very short. 1 minute of animation, followed by another minute of rolling credits. As I'm writing this script, there are 225 episodes of the Chikawa anime, so 225 minutes, or just under 4 hours of content. You could get caught up on the entire Chikawa anime faster than some YouTube video essays. Compared to what a lot of media is feeding us right now, where everyone is always trying to aggressively grab your attention, get you to click on things, make you feel angry, overwhelm you, Chikawa is the complete opposite. It makes you appreciate every small moment. You watch these characters go through their silly, imperfect lives, enjoying their food, working towards their dreams, feeling so accomplished and fulfilled over the tiniest things. Sometimes they get upset, but by the next page, they're already enjoying something else going on in their life. While you go through this series, you'll have your first thought of, man, I wish real life was like the world of Chikawa. But then you kinda realize it just can be. You can take a moment to enjoy your food like they do. You can celebrate a milestone and feel just as rewarded as they do. They live in the moment, not stressing over what comes next or how they're gonna top it. And you can too! It makes emotions feel real and valuable again to me. All through these simple little puntable characters. Chikawa isn't gonna resonate with everyone like it has with me, and that's completely fine, even though they're wrong. But I do hope that I've convinced at least some of you to give it a try. You can watch the anime on High Dive with subtitles, but unfortunately, there's currently no official English translations of the manga. You have to get a bit crafty to read it at the moment. Until we get official translations, there is a fan-made guide to Chikawa resources in the description with fan-made translations. But be respectful and normal, please. To be honest, I'm a little scared of all the attention I'm putting on this community all at once, but please just be chill about it, okay? Also, please, you don't have to bring me up every time you see anything Chikawa related. I don't want to suddenly make this a Jaiden Animations thing. Just enjoy Chikawa as Chikawa, please. Thank you. I really want to be gentle with it because I love and respect the franchise a lot, but I also want to share this series with you guys as well. Hopefully, you'll be just as obsessed as I am, and then we can all buy merch once Chikawa comes to the West, eh? Thanks for letting me ramble about my favorite thing. I love Chikawa. I hope you'll give it a try. And if anyone out there watching can tell the Chikawa company to send the merch to America, please, please. I promise I will buy it all. Please. There's actually a chance I might have been pronouncing Chikawa wrong this whole video. I've heard other people pronounce it Chikawa or Chikawa. I really am not sure, so this is pretty embarrassing. Also, while prepping for this video, I sat on call with practically everyone on my team, and we all watched the whole Chikawa anime series together for research purposes, and then they all made Chikasonas. I cannot believe this is my job.
I just played one of the best Pokemon games ever, and I'm here to tell you all about it. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Ruby was one of the first video games I remember owning, and I've decided to devote the rest of my life and soul to the franchise. And by that, I mean I'll play the new games when they come out. Do I have to like them? No. Frankly, I think the past few recent ones have been kinda garbage. But that won't stop me from getting my hopes up thinking the next game will be different, even though deep down, we all know it won't be. But Pokemon does have a few side games you might have heard of, like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, or Pokemon Stadium, or that weird geometric one. But there's one franchise that I feel like doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it deserves, and that's Pokemon Ranger. I had the original Pokemon Ranger game as a kid, and I remember two things about it. I liked it, and circles. Lots of circles. The flashbacks are beginning. When I remembered Pokemon Ranger existed, I decided to look it up and see if it was worth possibly making a video on, and that's when I realized there were actually 3 Pokemon Ranger games. Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia, and Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. Bit of a Pokemon Ranger mouthful, but I digress. I was looking at some forums of people discussing which one they thought was the best, and the Shadows of Almia one seemed to be high on a lot of people's lists. So I bought the game. Now sit down and get comfy because I just played this game for the first time, and I'm here to tell you about why it's the best game ever. The game starts off with your character taking the entrance exam to a Pokemon Ranger school, and it only took me 2 attempts to draw 5 consecutive circles around this barely moving Pikachu. You're dang right that's impressive. I guess that's all it takes, because now I'm officially a member of this secret army for this inscrutable team school plotting to rule the world. Oh, he's just kidding. Yeah, it's a normal school. I'm introduced to my class, and for some reason they've been, starved for new human contact or something, because they're bombarding the teacher with questions. Are they a boy or a girl? Which is it? Is she cute? So I'm introducing myself, and apparently the teacher catches this Keith kid looking at me with a big grin. Anyway, you go sit next to Keith. Oh, okay, just plop me right next to him. Yeah, I don't mind or anything. Thanks, Teach. Anyway, you get a tour of the school from this girl with me, meeting the other teacher, Mr. Kinsaid, who's apparently a stickler for making sure kids don't run in the hall, and this kid, Isaac, that Rhythmy called Mushroom Hair. Both my IQ and my height in centimeters are 163. Alright, bud. After getting a feel for the school, you're taught how to capture Pokemon with your styler. Loops portray the feeling of friendship, so the more loops you draw around the Pokemon, the more it will submit to your friendship. That's nice. Touch the Bidoof. You finish the school day and are fast asleep in the dorms when all the students decide it's initiation time. Get up, sleepyhead, it's 4 a.m. Time for your student initiation. Yes, sirs. They tell you to find all 4 of the stylers they've hidden around the giant school, and after doing so, you have to put them in the basement for some reason. So you head down there after finding them all, and are in the basement when, why are you down here? Only I'm permitted to be in the basement. Leave now! Anyway, Isaac, have you finished testing my very secret experiment no one can know about? The rest of the school year goes on without any big problems. Pokemon Ranger Crawford comes and talks about what it's like to be a ranger. You save the milkman from some Bidoof. You attend a one-day internship at the local Pokemon Ranger base, and they make you bring them their lunch as an important mission. Actually, while you're at the internship, someone runs over and says the Pokemon on the beach are acting strange. You go with the Rangers to check it out to see all the Pokemon going crazy, and save the day by capturing them with your loops of friendship. But yeah, that's weird. Finally, you make it to graduation. Jaiden, come up and make a speech as the class representative. Oh, I'm the class representative, huh? Well, don't mind if I... So after saving everyone from a very strange rampage of Tangrowth, you start working at the Pokemon Ranger base you interned at. There's a call about some more Pokemon acting strange down in a nearby cave, so your first mission is to investigate what's going on. In the cave, you stumble upon this weird missile-looking machine that seems to be what's hypnotizing the Pokemon in its vicinity and making them go crazy. So you destroy it and everyone's proud of you. This Professor Hastings guy is called down from the Pokemon Union to take a look at the cave machine, and I guess he's like 100 years old or something because the Rangers want you to go meet him halfway in Puel Town to make sure he doesn't get lost and die along the way. You take one step in town, and oh god, all the Pokemon are going nuts. Turns out there's more of those rocket machines planted in the town, and as you're going around smashing them, you run into some guys that are not only very shady, but also terribly shifty. They run away to tell their leaders there's Pokemon Rangers smashing their stuff, and further into the town you find them again with their admin, who's like, dude, what the heck? What do you have against our Giga Remos, you vandals? Treat things with respect. And then attacks me with Rattata and a Toxicroak. Not gonna lie, their battle music kinda bangs though. Turns out they're part of this gang called Team Dim Sun, and after capturing their Pokemon with friendship loops, they decide to retreat. We're able to find Professor Hastings and bring him back to the base to analyze what we now know are Giga Remo machines. He finds a tiny black crystal in the center that seems to be the thing that allows Team Dim Sun to control the Pokemon. The base considers this a problem, which is reasonable. And now the Pokemon Union starts getting involved, which is like the big head honcho of Pokemon Ranger bases where all the Ranger prodigies are. The story continues as the Union tries to uncover more about what Dim Sun is up to, and you keep interrupting their plans. You catch them trying to drill a tunnel in the side of a mountain. You catch them having a secret base and cargo ship in the middle of a volcano, which Mr. Kincaid is found to be part of Dim Sun. Big surprise, didn't see that one coming. You haven't been running in the ship's hallways, have you? You catch them mining hundreds of dark crystal shards in an abandoned mine. That one was a bit of a problem because apparently there was the mother of all shadow crystals. They are powerful enough to power this incredible machine they're in the middle of developing that they plan on using to control all the Pokemon within a 500-mile radius they got their grubby hands on and helicoptered away to their headquarters. Probably should tell someone about that. But the good thing is we ended up finding the diary of the Dim Sun president's father, who writes about how if we gather these 3 gems called the Tears of Princes, the gems will be able to combine their power and negate the power of the Shadow Crystal. Alright, let's go do that. The first gem is told to be in this giant ice castle called Alima Castle, and on the way there, you run into Dim Sun grunts trying to stop you. They're not hard to deal with, and they start getting a bit frustrated. I want to pay you with a snowball. Hard. You make it to the castle after swimming through a bunch of ocean boulders and whirlpools that totally didn't slow me down at all, and end up at the castle where Dim Sun is already running around in trying to get the gem first. These guys are blocked from going any further because this giant chunk of ice is in front of the door, and the grunts are like, man, that's a big hunk of ice. If we made snow cones out of it, we'd be able to feed like 403 people. And then they see me standing there and are all, hey, that outfit! What are they called again? Pokemon Ranger? You came for a snow cone? You deal with that whole situation and end up in the room just before where the gem is being kept, where you're introduced to one of the members of Team Dim Sun's Sinistrio, Ice. I don't know what his deal is, but he called me Jaiden Noob and then dabbed, so I had to murder him. Well, I captured and freed his Frostlass, and he scurried away all, well, I didn't need the gem anyway. After gaining the trust of the Lucario guarding the gem with more of my loops, the blue gem of the Tier of Princes is mine. Fast forward a bit, and you get the red gem as well after defeating Sinistrio Lavanna and her Infernape. She doesn't dab, but she does do this sexy little dance. The guy from school, Keith, who's a ranger now, was assigned to get the yellow gem and hasn't come back yet, so the Union's like, alright, Jaiden, go check on him. You hop on a boat to the destination, but whoops, apparently a Wailord is in trouble. I'll just go down there and see. Yep, I thought so. These Dim Sun grunts are trying to kidnap a Wailord, and after destroying the machines that were trapping it, they decide to just grab a Wailmer instead and try to convince their boss it's a Wailord mini. You follow them on the rescued Wailord and start infiltrating their base. Down a hall, you discover the grunts squishing the Wailmer through the door, and as you follow them into the room, they're like, oh crap, shoot, do you want to deal with the ranger? Oh no, I'm too wimpy. I know. Let's apologize. Sorry. We got the ranger's confidence. Charge! And then drop a truckload of Slackoth on me. After capturing all their Slackoth, they're like, oh no! And then all of them just grab me and shove me out of the room and lock it. Which honestly is more effective than like 99% of all video game villains. So you keep running through the base and end up actually finding mushroom-haired Isaac from Ranger School. He's been manipulated into building Dim Sun's incredible machine, and we agree to take him back to the Union after we finish up our business in the secret hideout. We finally encounter Mr. Kincaid, who's manning the Wailord operation. He's being all maniacal, but we successfully capture his Gliscor, save Wailmer, and bring Isaac safely back to the Union, where he gives us access to the incredible machine blueprints. Skipping ahead in the story a bit, we end up not being able to get the yellow gem because Heath, the last of the Sinistrio trio, kidnapped Keith and we exchanged him for the yellow gem. I kept trying to say no, but I guess it's good we saved him. The Union makes a plan to have their top rangers go and fly to Dim Sun's headquarters and face them head on. Jaiden, you can just sit in the corner and do nothing. But right as they leave to do that, the Sinus trio busts through the Union walls and are like, ha ha ha, we'll be taking this, and steal back Isaac because they need him to complete the Incredible Machine by midnight so they can activate the Shadow Crystal. Isaac complied because they threatened to kill his sister or something. So new plan, now I have to get Isaac back and basically destroy the machines that were protecting their building / Incredible Machine because, oops, I didn't mention this before, but they turned their entire building headquarters into the Incredible Machine. What? We basically just waltzed right through the front doors of the headquarters. Heh, that'll stop people from entering. What? How did you get in here? And battle our way up to Isaac, who's like, you're a bit too late. I totally just completed the entire machine and they're about to use it to hypnotize all the Pokemon in the region in like 5 minutes. Well, at least your sister's not dead. So you run to the top, defeating the Sinus trio every floor of the way, and grab the last Tears of Prince's gem. And you get to the top where you meet the Dim Sun president Blake Hall for the first time, and he's like, you're too late. It's time for darkness. Get her, Dusknoir. And then I capture it immediately. And he's like, just kidding. Get her, Darkrai! And then Darkrai just starts dipping me into darkness, and Keith has to come save me on his Staraptor. So Darkrai's like, well, then I'm gonna just dip these guys into the darkness, and throws Blake and his assistant into the void. Haha, but I decide to capture and free Darkrai anyway with the help of the Tears of Princes, and save the day. Yay, woohoo! I'm a hero! Time to take a nap. Now, Pokemon Ranger is a big game. It took me about 24 full hours to get through the game, so I had to leave out a lot, and I mean a lot, of other points in the story. There's even a bunch of side quests that are actually pretty entertaining and funny you can complete that help power up your styler. There's one where this guy says he researches smells and wants me to bring him the stench of a muck. So you do it, and he's like, yes, and puts it in a jar. Then later on in the game, he pops up again, and this time asks for a Weezing and a Skuntank, to which he's like, yes, and puts them in jars. Then he's like, thanks, dude, and you never see him again. The dialogue is absolutely amazing. This game has probably the best writing out of any Pokemon game I know of. Team Dim Sun is obviously the star of the show, and whenever they come on screen, you know they're gonna have something funny to say. At one point, while I was trying to get into their secret base in the volcano, I captured the Pokemon they were controlling, and they're like, time to make our escape, and set off dynamite, which exploded a giant boulder and blocked the entrance to the base, which they're like, shoot, we were supposed to detonate it after we go in. So they had to wait for me to go get a Pokemon that can destroy the rock. And they're like, thanks, Ranger. We'll be grateful for this for about a second. And they run through the door. So you follow them, and they come back like, hey, we forgot about you helping us. Take this! And drop a bunch of Numel on me. Also, all of the music that plays when they're around is awesome. I was jamming out whenever I was running around their base. It's a bummer this game isn't super popular. I know it's got a small cult following, but it definitely deserves to be more well-known, and I really consider it one of the top Pokemon games out there, just on writing alone. It's not a hard game, but I mean, Pokemon isn't meant to be a difficult game series anymore. I can see some people getting a bit tired of the capture system since it doesn't change much throughout the game, but honestly, again, I think the story and dialogue far make up for the semi-repetitive capture and battle system. Now, I know I kind of just talked about the entire plot, but if you're curious about playing it yourself, there's so much I left out, and there's still a lot to discover about the game, so I highly recommend it. I'm being honest when I say I didn't even cover a third of what happens in the game, and there were a lot of funny moments I really wanted to talk about that I just didn't have room for in the script. I'm just trying to convince you to play the game yourself at this point, because I think it's just that funny of a game. But I'll stop. But here's all my stats after completing the game. It took me about 24 hours to complete it. I captured 734 Pokemon and ran away from 106. I think that's a pretty good ratio. And look, I drew a total of 9,077 loops. With that amount of practice, I bet I'm a master at drawing circles now. Thanks for watching the video on me drawing circles for 20 hours. Huge thanks to the team for their hard work. This video was massive, and it turned out amazing. I've mentioned this before, but I've been enjoying the video game videos a lot. So if you have a weird game you think I should take a look at, let me know. A lot of people have already been requesting this game called Elite Beat Angels, which is some sort of rhythm game with male cheerleaders, which looks amazing. But I think that video would get mega copyrighted, so unfortunately I don't think I can play that on YouTube. It looks really good though if you want to check it out. Anyway, I don't have much to say this time, so see ya later. Everyone knows about the classic household name, Dance Dance Revolution. It's the one where you go to those arcade places and there's that one Asian guy full comboing the hardest song with both player slots, and he's been doing it with no break for the past 2 hours, and he's the coolest person anyone has ever seen. It's a huge video game genre that's sparked an incredibly talented and dedicated fan base, but we're not talking about a game that has any of that. We're talking about the Mario DDR game that came out on the GameCube in 2005 and is the funniest thing Nintendo has ever done. If you didn't know, Nintendo released their own Dance Dance Revolution game to capitalize on the hype, but it's actually awful. For whatever reason, they just ripped all the assets and models from their Mario Party games and mocapped Mario to various dances, resulting in animations like these. I hope you're starting to pick up on the vibe of this game now. I wanted to run the game at the hardest difficulty, but I realized to unlock each difficulty, you need to complete the entire story mode in its prior difficulty. So to unlock hard mode, you have to beat the game in normal. To unlock very hard, you have to beat it all again in hard. So we all agree that I played the game 3 whole times and didn't use a cheat code to get the hardest difficulty immediately, right? Alright, great. This game is awesome already. The story starts out with Toad running to Mario's house because someone stole the music keys from Truffle Towers and they need to go get them back. What are the music keys? The game calls them the spheres that hold the power of music, and then does not elaborate. They try to head to the tower, and not a minute into the game, we reach our first story hurdle, which is a river. They say it's flooded, but does not look flooded in the slightest. In fact, that is exactly what I'd expect a completely normal river to look like. Also, why would you put your house here in the first place, especially if you're gonna have problems with crossing rivers? But Toad has a solution, and the solution is to dance. Oh my god, do not tell me I can predict how this entire game goes all because of this one sentence. Anyways, Toad says if they dance, maybe they can cross the river, but then they just get in a boat and dance, which I think is one step too complicated. They cross the river in a boat and thank the power of magic, get to Truffle Towers, the door is locked, and then are bombed by Waluigi. Mario gets sent flying, and Waluigi monologues about how he's the one that stole the music keys, and intends to use them to become the best dancer in the world. Which, first of all, is full-on admission of guilt and therefore triable in court. And also, I don't think you need to stoop to robbery to accomplish that dream. Like, at all. Mario lands at the bottom of a really deep pipe, but uses the power of busting it down to get out. Somehow. I don't know what happened, but he just started dancing and then he was out. And on their way back to the tower, they visit a local shop run by Lakitu. They're shopping, and then the camera pans and reveals, is that the key to Truffle Towers? They ask him about it, and he's just like, yup, ain't she a beaut? And it's like, why is it here? Toad asks if they can have it, and he responds, only if you can do something for me. Which is terrifying and ominous. He takes them to the back, which is also terrifying and ominous, but says, these brat kids are messing with my garden. If you get rid of them, you can have the key. Oh, phew. Okay, he just wants us to beat up children. So Mario just dances around and smashes them. We get the key, go back to the tower, and walk in on Waluigi just having his own private little dance party inside, alone. Have you just been dancing around in silence this whole time? He strikes an anime back pose and challenges us to a dance-off, which we win because look at Mario go. And now we got the music key. Mario does the smallest little punch celebration in the world before Toad says they're not done with their journey. We have one of the music keys, but apparently there's 4 in total. You mean the game isn't 18 minutes long? Toad summons this incredible music airship that I guess he just has, and off we go to World 2, where they immediately fly into a tornado, get flung away, and ruin Toadette's hotel. And when I say ruin, I mean, turn it into corkscrew pasta. Toadette is absolutely furious, and I'm just praying we didn't kill every single person who was in the building. But Mario's like, don't worry, dude, I know how to fix it. By dancing. Of course. They dance and the building coils itself up again, and Toadette's like, thanks, by the way, I saw the thing you guys are looking for fly over in that direction. Which is like, okay, sure. They head over in that direction, but a whirlpool just spawns out of nowhere. They sail to a nearby island for safety, kind of just stand there with creepy blank stares for a bit, then walk into the only building on the island, which is just another shop. This time it's run by a Lakitu, but in a pirate hat. And you'll never guess what he's got. A ship attachment that lets you sail through whirlpools. How incredibly convenient to keep on progressing. Mario and Toad are just looking at the thing, and Lakitu's like, I see you've got your eye on the boogie booster. It lets you sail through whirlpools. Toad's like, oh neat, can we have it? Nope, it's not for sale. Then why is it on display? You know what? You've got a point. If you beat me in a dance battle, you can have it. I kid you not, that is the exact exchange that happens in the game. The song that plays while battling Lakitu is super intimidating, and I thought I was gonna actually be in danger. But Mario wins the dance-off, probably because Lakitu has 0 legs. They get the engine thing that wasn't for sale, and Lakitu definitely did not have to give away. And now they can sail through whirlpools. And when the game says through, they actually mean into, because apparently the music key is in the whirlpool, and I don't know how they knew that, or why they didn't tell me, the player, that in the first place. I was just thinking the whole time, can't you just sail around the whirlpool or something? There's like a whole ocean to sail in, and you're wanting to sail through this tiny little section. But now I look like a fool, and frankly, I don't think it's my fault. So they get to the bottom of the whirlpool and find the second music key being guarded by this giant blooper, and of course, that means we need to dance battle. Since for all these duel songs you get to see the opponent's screen, I thought it would have been really funny to see the blooper have like 8 arrows to hit instead of the classic 4. But whatever, it's just a really creative and fun little idea. I guess they didn't have to be funny, I guess. Also, when I say dance, I mean murder. Mario danced so hard, the blooper died. On to World 3 they go, which, by the way, this game is going at breakneck pace. Mario does a couple dances, someone dies, and on to the next area, I guess. They land at an amusement park and are immediately gatekept by these hammer bros who are like, if you want to get in, you're gonna have to dance through us. Toad runs away because he says his legs are too stubby to dance, which means the gatekeeping worked on him. Mario's canonically immune to gatekeeping, so he stepped up to the challenge, and I would like to mention these Hammer Bros' highest combo was 30, which is not good at all. I'm just saying, I would be embarrassed if I tried to gatekeep someone and performed like that. Just saying. Mario and Toad enter the amusement park to see Wario on a roller coaster with a music key. They yell out, follow that roller coaster! Which is like, if only there were rails to indicate where it's going. But then they make probably the worst decision you could when you're trying to catch someone on a roller coaster, which is get on the other roller coaster cart. If you're getting on a roller coaster to catch someone already on the roller coaster, that doesn't work. Roller coasters don't catch up to each other. That's called a collision. So they make haste again, the chase of a lifetime, and they end up running into a haunted house where Mario needs to dance to fend off the ghosts to avoid being possessed. Is this what you have to do to close Ouija boards people forget to say goodbye to? They make it out and start the chase again. Also, Wario, I don't think you should be saying this when you're clearly in tackling distance. They corner him at the Ferris wheel. He pulls the, if you can beat me in a dance battle, you can have the key thing again. We beat him, and hey, third music key. By the way, Wario has one of the best songs in the game. The two arrive at World 4, where the skybox is very visible, and everything's all snowy and blistery. Toad is about to freeze to death in the funniest animation I've ever seen, as Mario does not care. But they make it to the top of the mountain, where they find the last music key lodged in this giant Freezy's head. Toad goes up to him and is like, hey, sir, can we have that? And gets hard ignored. So he turns to Mario and is like, did you see that? I was ignored. Mario, kill him. Which the Freezy did not like. Which, being honest, is very reasonable. I would be in the same boat if I gave someone the silent treatment, and then I overhear them put a hit on me. Even though Toad is clearly in the wrong, Mario dance fights him anyway, and during the very fun, upbeat song, the Freezy is seen slowly melting as Mario pelts him with fireballs. The giant Freezy dies tragically. They get the key, and Toad cheers, never once taking the time to self-reflect and realize how unreasonable he just was. And now this beautiful, innocent creature is dead because of it. They fly back to Truffle Towers to put the music keys back when Bowser punches Toad in the throat and takes all the keys back to his castle. Oh my goodness, there's a Secret World 5? Secrets in Mario game? Who would have guessed that? After Mario dances to quite possibly the strangest Mario Bros song I've ever heard. They infiltrate the castle and grab the keys before Bowser is able to use them. Then Toad's like, "You're going down, Bowser. Mario, kill him." And then the most hyped dance battle begins. Have you ever seen Bowser do an aerial while Mario's busting it down in front of him? Well, there you go. This song unironically goes crazy hard too. The premise of this battle is while you're hitting the arrows, you also have to hit these rocket parts, and when you get all three, it builds into this space rocket that flies over and astral squishes Bowser. And I would like to say, for the record, I think it is incredibly impressive he's able to take a giant hammer to the head and immediately jump up and keep dancing like a champ. That's some incredible stamina right there. But the song ends and Bowser collapses. The day is once again saved thanks to Mario and the sociopathic megalomaniac that is Toad. They ask Bowser why he wanted the music keys in the first place, and he's like, "I'll be honest, I just wanted to fix my tone deafness." Poor guy, just wants to become a K-pop star. I guess that struck a chord within Mario because then he just uses all the keys himself and releases all the music power into the world, and they all act like he's a hero and everything is happily and sparkly in the end, and how it's supposed to be used this whole time, which could be cute if it wasn't so stupid, and also invalidates every single organism they slaughtered to get to this point. Was this a good game? Not even close. It was surprisingly hard, but it's not because the game is hard. I think it's really just because the developers didn't know anything about DDR. If they did, they sure as hell didn't make a game that seemed like it. They don't indicate which arrows are on what beats, which is really important in DDR. Well, okay, technically they do tell you what arrows on a full beat and which are on half beats, but they switch back and forth between the same colors the whole time. See these two squares? Tell me which one is which when they're flying across the screen and all intertwined with each other. In other words, f you. Enemy arrows are impossible to see because they're not bright and neon, so they blend into the background, which is distracting enough already. For me, the calibration was wrong, so I went into the settings to fix it, and instead of having a way to recalibrate it manually or something, you have to input plus or minus, which is like, my sweet spot ended up at +9, and I have no idea what that means. I could go on and on, but I think you get the point. Do I hate this game? Nope, I absolutely loved it. And it's all because of the stupid rotoscope dance animations. How could you call this bad? Nintendo will never let this happen again. So I think we need to step up and cherish this game because it's a miracle it exists in the first place. Plus the songs, except that weird one near the end, are actually fire. And I'm dying on that hill proudly. Hello everyone, I hope you've been doing well. I have been doing quite well myself. Nothing to say this time. I'm working on a lot of, fun stuff, but I can't talk about it yet, so stay tuned. Alright, bye-bye. Dating. Not a fan. But you know, dating simulators can be the closest thing there is to dating without actually having to go out and do it for real, which can seem much more appealing to people like me who do not like people. Believe it or not, dating sims are more popular than you think. Don't believe me? Yeah, I guess that's fair. Either way, there's a seemingly endless plethora of different types of dating simulators out there. You can simulate dating anime girls, anime boys, evil anime girls, old rich chicken man, bubbles, birds. Anything you set your mind to, you can date. Virtually. I've never really played or wanted to play dating simulators. The closest thing I've come to developing any sort of connection with virtual beings is being best friends with Chief in Animal Crossing when I was 13. So I decided I want to see what they're like. You know, surely there's a reason the genre has roughly 22 million consumers. I mean, that's a few million short of the entire continent of Australia. You love bugs. But I didn't go out looking to play the generic normal games. I wanted to test the limits of game developers' creativity and find dating sims that were conceptually really out there. First on the table is speed dating for ghosts. As you can guess, we are starting out by dating ghosts. So how it works is you choose a room to go into, you have a few minutes to chat with a ghost until a bell rings, and another one sits down in front of you. There's 3 ghosts per room, and once you get the chance to chat with all of them, they all do another circuit, you can continue your conversations, and ultimately choose which one you want to go on a date with. I'm greeted by the speed dating receptionist, Fran, who says, "We get all kinds of ghosts here. Nice ones, sad ones, spooky ones. It gets lonely being a ghost." And I say, "I like being alone." And Fran goes, "I've never met a ghost who doesn't need anyone. No one to talk to. It makes sense all this. I'm doing just fine, thanks." You don't even want to make a friend? Nope. And that led to me leaving the speed dating for ghosts event. Well, okay, I guess I can't be myself in these games after all. So I lie, and I'm given the choice to enter one of 3 rooms. The room of palms, the room of liars, and the room of black. I just went into the room of palms. This huge buff jock ghost sits down in front of me, introduces himself as Riley, and proceeds to call me pretty hot for a ghost. To which I reply, slow down there, buddy. And Riley immediately apologizes, and now I feel bad. Guys, I don't think I'm good at... I think I've been choosing nothing but all the wrong answers so far. Riley and I chat a bit, the bell rings, and I meet this old smoking ghost who used to live in Vegas and was part of the Vegas Mafia until they burned her house down with her in it. The bell rings again, and this giant bush ghost sits down. So this is Steph. She's anxious and introspective in a light and charming way. I'll be honest when I say I did really enjoy her conversations, but then you start to realize she doesn't realize she's dead and a ghost. And then the conversation turns more into just trying to hint towards letting her know she's not alive anymore. I started learning Japanese, but there's thousands of kanji characters to learn. You've got an eternity to learn. If only I'll die before I learn the language. You're already dead. Ha! Yeah, you're right. In a way, we all are just waiting to die. You're dead. Are you threatening me? I'm gonna tell Fran. Steph finally catches on, and then it gets super introspective. You know, I still feel alive. Just dissociated. Ouch! Oof! Whoa! Oh, that one was real out of nowhere. What the heck? You can't recite my own feelings to me like that. Time ran out and the event came to a close. Out of all the ghosts, I wasn't really drawn to any of them enough to want to go on a date. I like Steph, but she's got her own demons to face for a bit. So back to the 3 rooms I went. For round 2, I chose Room of Liars. First up is a ghost that is apparently very scared of ghosts. When I was alive, I used to be so scared of ghosts. And turns out they were real this whole time? That one was, you know, I feel like there was an overall ceiling going into it with how well that could have gone no matter what. So, you know. Then came Spooky Peter, and I was ecstatic.
Oh my god, he's so cool!
He died from the bubonic plague, and now he's become a master at spooking people who are still alive. He's an actual legend. I'm blessed to be in his presence. The living people have written books about him. I was getting spooking tips and learning about the mirror world when the bell rang and this shark ghost, Leon, sits down in front of me and leads with, "Wanna make some money? Doesn't everyone? Exactly. Let's rob a bank." So I meet up with Leon at the place he told me. I was a little bummed I couldn't chat more with Spooky Peter, but when someone invites you to join them in robbing a bank, how can you say no? You put everything on hold. We were getting ready to go in and we're chatting with Leon's bank robbing buddy, Carlsbad, who was explaining how he works at the bank we were about to rob so he can open the safe and knows where all the security cameras are pointed. When...
Spooky Peter!
Leon recruited Spooky Peter to join the bank rob crew from the speed dating event as well. I'm nothing less than ecstatic, and my mental health is at an all-time high, which is the ideal circumstances for bank robbing. We get into the safe thanks to Carlsbad, and unfortunately there wasn't a huge pile of money like Leon was hoping. Like in the cartoons and movies. But we were able to open a deposit box that had some lawyer documents in it and a 14-karat gold vanity mirror set. I gave the mirror to Spooky Peter. That was about all the time we had before we had to scram out of there. And even though it wasn't a huge pile of money, I think it was a pretty successful bank robbery. We took something from the bank. That's what else do you want? And I got to see Spooky Peter again. So, since I technically didn't go out on a date with anyone from the liar's room and robbed a bank instead, that leaves One room left to find my spooky ghost partner. Everyone in the room of black was very nice. There was a punk rock skater kid just looking to have fun with a new friend, a nice old pollen lady who makes jam for the living, and Gary. Hello? I'm gonna narrow my own eyes at you. Oh my god. Okay. Hello? No! Bad breath? Please. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. I learned Gary's a vengeful ghost who was murdered at his office job, but doesn't remember how, why, or who did it. So naturally, I go along with him to find his murderer and avenge his soul. Turns out Gary was the murderee and stabbed his work partner and then was shot by the police. Well, he was very nice to me. Speed dating for ghosts. I made a lot of friends, but no virtual ghost could win my heart. So let's move on to The Ratchular. You know how The Bachelor works. This is just that. In rat form. I've been told these violet eyes of mine are more purple than all the lavender in the world, and I certainly smell better too. Ooh, you talk a lot. Dear, I can't say that I recall you mentioning it, but how'd you say you scored on the SATs? I got a 1570, which is quite good, if you didn't know. Wow, you're so different. You wanted to hear more about my work? Yes, sometimes I host Saturday Night Live and also Wheel of Fortune and Dancing with the Stars. Ever seen Avengers by Marvel? I was the Avenger. Wow. Meep. Meeple. Wow, you're so different. It's time you meet my children. Reggie997, Evangeline, Esquire Jr., Sharpie, and Trashcan. They already love you. Yuck. If you want my respect, you need to earn it. My whole life, I've had to make do by myself and work for what I've got. And every time I've needed help, people let me down. Yuck. Honestly, as much as I enjoy being here on The Ratchular, I can't wait to get back home so I can keep teaching my baking class at the local youth center. The kids are so sweet. Next up, I'm teaching them all to bake cheesecake. I hope you can come with me. I could bake you a cheesecake. The kids would love you. You talk a lot. I ended up proposing to 3 salamanders dressed up as a rat. Alright, what's next? Dating a dog? Sure, why not at this point? Would you like to see my collection of newts? No. What's your ideal starting Pokemon? I'm way more Digimon, to be honest. Would you like to hear a joke? I hate jokes. Pipe down and listen up. What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. I never want to see you again. So I've tried dating ghosts, rats, dogs. What else is there at this point? You're right. Namco video game characters. When I found out this sim lets you date Namco characters, I immediately thought of Fygar from Dig Dug. I just think he's really cool. I don't think they'd put Fygar in there, but Dig Dug is part of the cast, so I started getting my hopes up that I could get to know Dig Dug. So in the game, you play as a shy, awkward cousin from Katamari Damacy who attends Namco High. You end up being put in detention for rolling up desks, the entire marching band, cars, Principal Dig Dug. Wait, he's the principal? Yeah, that's not gonna work. So now I'm bummed and on the verge of quitting the game. What's the point in playing if neither Dig Dug or Fygar are romantic interests? But in the cast of characters in the detention room I could talk to, one stuck out to me. Galaga Ship. And suddenly it's all worth it again. I go up and try to talk to Galaga Ship, and naturally they're surrounded by all the popular characters. They're talking about the school play and how they all think Galaga Ship is perfect to play Juliet. And thus began my plan to get into the school play to Romeo Juliet kiss Galaga Ship. I have the option to talk to other characters, and I just go, no, I'd rather sit here and do nothing until the end of detention. And that's exactly what I did. The next day was the little school festival to show off all the clubs and stuff. Naturally, I went straight for the drama club and found Galaga Ship manning the booth. I want to join. Auditions are in the auditorium. I want to be Romeo. Read your lines. Alas, that love, whose view Romeo's understudy. Bam! Good enough. Now I have an excuse to practice lines with Galaga Ship, who did land the Juliet role because they're perfect in every way. The story moves along and I meet up with Galaga Ship to rehearse our lines. Well, their lines. You know, understudy. But Principal Dig Dug finds us in the auditorium and thinks we're skipping class for some reason and gives us both double detention. So the obvious next step for me was to sneak onto Galaga Ship's property at night and discreetly start apologizing for getting them into double detention. But then their parents find us being secretive and suspicious and ban me from ever talking to their child ever again. It starts raining. Then Pac-Man, who has not been a character in this story at all up until this point, shows up and tells me to be true to myself. Okay, I go home. The next day at school, we find out suddenly Pac-Man has been kidnapped by evil Namco High. I don't even know where the story is going anymore. Galaga Ship and I team up and beat everyone up, I think. Like all the students and teachers. We rescue Pac-Man, and that's the end. The end. I'll be honest, that one was a bit... I think it lost me there. You'd think a game where you can date Galaga Ship would have a clearer story. After all the dating simulators I just went through, I think I feel weird. Were they all fun? Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, maybe going for the strangest ones. I guess I got what I asked for. Either way, it was a nice experience. I believe I understand the appeal of dating simulators. It is unfortunate I didn't end up finding my perfect virtual relationship, but hey, there's plenty of ones and zeros in the sea. But I do not think I will be casting my line again anytime soon. However, I could go for another bank robbery. Surprise! We've been working with Terraria to do a collab on some merch stuff, and it's here! Look at this awesome Jaiden Lunatic cultist stuff! Dang, dude, it's so sick! You can find it on the Terraria shop, which is just terraria.shop. We're working on some Christmas merch for my own store, so keep an eye out for that. And if this video goes up on the day it should be, which is November 14th, I'm on tour! Scribble Showdown is on the road, and the gang and I should be having a great time making people laugh with our silly little drawings. Alright, see you later. Also, dating games, am I right? When it comes to the spirit world, supernatural, chakras, I'm indifferent. Normally, I just don't mess with any of it. Whether it's real or not, I'm sure not gonna fool around and find out. I'm here to live as normal a life I can, die, and then we can go from there. But I got curious. What would happen if I individually booked readings with a bunch of psychics? I mean, I don't even know what they do. I just know something about them being made of crystals and having 3 eyes or something. It's a world I've never explored before. Until today, I didn't even know what to expect. Would they all say the same thing? Different things? Would they say I'm cursed and demand to put a ritual on me? Who knows? I booked a reading with 5 different psychics. Let's see what they all said about me. I wanted to keep as much consistency in all of this as possible. You know, scientific method and all that. So I specifically booked a tarot card reading and palm reading from all 5 of them. That way they're all reading the same things for me and we get to be good little scientists in the supernatural community. Anyway, Psychic 1. I walked into the shop and saw a table with a bunch of candles and crystals on it. You know, the typical psychic stuff. Now, I've never gone to a psychic at this point. I didn't know what they were gonna do to me. Were they gonna say my name and say they've been expecting me? And for all I know, a real-life wizard could walk through the door and speak in riddles to me the whole time. But Psychic 1 was a 5-foot-tall, middle-aged white lady in a black spaghetti-strapped tank top and a ponytail. All the psychics had a bit of a different method of doing the tarot card reading, but the overall gist is they had me put my right hand over the stack of cards, say my full name, then I pulled 18 cards that would determine my reading. Psychic 1 pulled the cards herself though. I didn't get to pick them, so I don't know if that was a non-regulation move or all the other psychics let me pick my cards, I'm just saying. She started with what she read about me as a person. I'm my own boss and don't like being told what to do, which is like half true. Well, being my own boss is full true. Hi guys. In normal day-to-day life, I love having someone else tell me what to do. It's just nice to turn my brain off and put someone else behind the wheel. But with YouTube, it's true. I don't like being told what to do. With the Pokemon XD video, I was asking Jacob what I should do with the thumbnail, and he said I shouldn't have Shadow Lugia in it because it's not that eye-catching. And I was like, no, I'm putting Shadow Lugia in the thumbnail because I love Shadow Lugia. And then I did. So the psychic's pretty on point so far. She said I don't like asking people for things. Everything I have, I worked to gain with my own 2 hands. I'm gonna live a long and healthy life beyond my 80s, and I'm gonna have 3 kids. All of those things are pretty fair. I do think you could say that to the majority of people though. Even if it's not genuinely true to their personality, I think most people like to believe that's the type of person they are. And if I don't live to be 80, What am I gonna do? Sue her? But that's the very strong skeptic in me talking. She do know me for real, for real. Then she asked if I had any questions for her, and I told her that I constantly worry that my birds are gonna die in some freak accident or sudden disease, or they get out and fly away never to be seen again. She pulled more cards and said she sees that they're safe, but would recommend placing a spiritual protection over them, which was very interesting to hear. From what she explained, I'd be doing a 3-day, 3-night meditation for them to create a spiritual barrier that can protect them physically, mentally, and medically. Promising medical protection is a big deal. You can't just throw that around lightly, might I just say. And to perform the meditation, I would need to buy the materials from her to do it. She was very big on making sure I knew I wasn't paying for her time, just the materials. Which, how thoughtful. Until she dropped the materials would cost $427. Let's just do a quick rundown on this whole session so we're all up to speed. During this psychic reading, this lady learned I'm my own boss, am successful enough to run my own animation team, care very deeply about my birds, enough to pay a psychic $90 to ask about their safety, and all I have to do to fully protect them from basically anything and everything in this world is set up this spiritual protection for the low price of $427. I didn't know you could repel cancer for under $500. Someone distract the government. I think we're onto something here. I just told her I don't have the money for it right now. A lie she most definitely didn't believe at that point, but I had to say something to stop this snowball in its tracks. And immediately she said, "That's fine, but this isn't something you should wait a long time on." Thank you, we'll be in touch. I never went back. For that being my first psychic reading experience, it spawned so many questions, but it did answer one I had beforehand, which was, how do psychics even stay in business? Because I am now starting to understand the business model going on here. Moving on to Psychic 2, I'll say this right now, this one was my favorite. She was really nice and we had a lot of good small talk. Her psychic reading room was a little closet in her house, and by the end of the session, it was very warm in there. But I had a nice time. Same situation, got a tarot card and palm reading. I think she said she gave me a general spiritual reading as well, and this all cost $90, just like the last one. What she said was all very positive. She said she sees me making a name for myself in whatever industry I'm in. That was genuinely the first thing she said to me. I didn't tell her about my job or anything. She sees a lot of new and exciting opportunities coming for me in the new year. I got all these readings done late 2022, so by the time this video actually comes out, we get to see if that's true. She also said I'm planned to live a long and healthy life past my 80s, and she foresees me moving to a different location sometime when I'm older, which is most likely true. I don't like LA. It freaks me out. She identified my bad time of the day, which she said is 3 a.m. Again, true. If life gets a bit too hard to handle, I will absolutely have a meltdown in bed at that time. But also, everyone has a meltdown when they're broken and it's late at night. That's a universal bad time. They even wrote a rule in life about it. Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. But it's good to be more aware of because I forget and 3 a.m. hits different some nights. She said I've always been connected to animals. I'm gonna be a mother of 3. Okay, the other psychic did say that. Mental note. And for some reason said I should get into hiking, which just sounds like a nice hobby recommendation. I didn't know tarot cards and palms could say that. I asked her about my birds. I didn't get the spiritual protection from the other psychic, so they are still in jeopardy. And she said although she's reading that they should be safe, if I'm worried about any medical issues, I should just go to the vet and get general checkups done. Which, you know, I respect a lot. I came in asking about the health and safety of my animals and she told me what she read, but if I'm actually concerned, to just go to a doctor. And didn't charge me $427 for it. Overall, Psychic 2 was very nice. She gave me a good reading, didn't try to sell me anything, and reminded me that doctors exist. Psychic 3 was kind of back in the same vein as Psychic 1. She almost immediately said I'm gonna live past my 80s and have 3 kids. Alright. She said she sees me having good financial fortune and good opportunities are coming in the new year. But she also said in August, a man with a beard and or mustache is gonna approach me with a business opportunity and to be wary of him. And then, before I could even process that, she said I may be involved in a light car accident in the next few months, possibly a fender bender. This is the first psychic that was this blunt about straight up predicting things. And by the time this video comes out, those months would have passed already. So I'll add right now, if I was in a car accident, She also said someone near me is gonna have a baby and that I'm gonna become very attached to it. And that's gotta be the most incorrect sounding prediction of all the psychics so far, because I am not a fan of babies. I don't like them. I think they are weird and unpredictable. I do not care who in my group of family or friends has a baby. I'm staying the hell away from it. She went back to reading me as a person, said I'm very trusting and to be aware of jealous people that are around me. In this industry, that's pretty fair. Then she said it seemed like I had a big purchase on my mind, to which I admitted there was something expensive I saw that I've had my mind on for a while. She asked what it was because she foresaw it being good for me, and I told her about the new giant Altaria plush that Pokemon announced. I don't think that's what she expected though, because she seemed to lose a little focus after that one. But I did end up buying it. I asked about my birds, just like I have been for all of them, and she said they seem safe. However, after reading me for so long, she sensed my chakras were imbalanced, which was a shame because I could have sworn they were properly aligned. Anyway, she would like to help with them. I said, sure, and she hit me with the meditation prayer bit and how I'm only paying for the materials and not her time, and they're gonna cost $375. Much cheaper than Psychic 1, but man, that's like the same setup and kicker. And no medical protection to boot. I politely declined and left. I gotta say though, this psychic was the first one to straight up tell me, you're gonna be in a car accident. A bearded man is gonna approach you in August. Like just real life things. Whether or not they come true, you gotta respect that gamble. Definitely an all or nothing type of psychic. She was also the most expensive one yet. The other psychics were both $90, but this one charged me $162 for the readings. Now, Psychic 4 was a doozy, might I tell you. I walked up to her shop door, entered the room, and no one was there. I immediately walked back out because it's weird to be just there alone, and texted her I was here, to which she responded, give me 15 minutes. Kinda strange a psychic is running late, but I'm not here to get into that irony, so I just sat on a little chair and waited outside. 15 minutes passed, then 20, 30. This lady was 40 minutes late to a psychic reading. I brushed it aside because whatever, and we started. She let me pick my tarot cards, laid them out in the formation, and told me she's very surprised I picked a lot of queen cards. Apparently, in the standard tarot card deck of 78 cards, there's 4 queens, and I randomly picked 3 of them. She explained that's no accident, so you heard it here first, people. Certified and indisputable queen over here. The stars said so. She led with how she sees I have a good, strong energy. I work for everything I have. I've got good financial stability. I'm gonna run my own company and be a good leader. But she sees a lot of jealous people around me and to be careful about them. I tried to explain YouTube to her because I felt like that would explain all the things she just said, since all things considered, it's pretty accurate. But after like 5 minutes of trying to explain what a YouTube channel is, she just gave up and was like, sorry, I just don't understand technology. Fair enough. Also, sure, all of what she said was surprisingly accurate, but I'm always wary of what can be used as a blanket statement, especially when it comes to the financial stuff, because I don't know, I think going to psychics is a bit of a luxury expense. Not everyone can afford to pay upwards of $100 just to be told they've got positive vibes and are gonna be in a car accident. But then Psychic 4 said, I don't know how you do it, but you're making at least X per month, and gave me a very specific range of what I actually do make per month. That's what definitely perked my ears up. You know, I don't have a normal job, and even after not understanding how I make money, she was able to drop a number that was pretty close, all things considered. Then she said she sees me living a long and healthy life, and that I'm gonna be a mother of 3. I haven't directly talked about it yet, but I would like to say it's hauntingly strange how literally all 4 psychics have told me I'm gonna be a mother of 3. None of them even asked me if I like kids in the first place. They just straight up told me point blank. I don't know what about me is giving off I'm gonna have 3 kids vibes, but it needs to stop. I absolutely do not want 3 kids. It's too many kids for me to handle. I'm gonna have to figure out how to change the fates, like immediately, because it's all feeling a bit too real at this point. They also all said I was gonna live a healthy life past my 80s. So if I die at 50, I want all of my money back. Anyway, Psychic 4 kept talking, saying it seemed my birds are safe, because I asked, but there seems to be a negative energy trying to attack them, to which she'll start meditating to protect them. Also, my chakras seem unaligned, and my 3rd eye isn't very developed despite how old my soul is,
which sure is a sentence. So she recommended a chakra meditation thing. She had me lay on her table under a lamp of RGB crystals and turned on relaxing spa music. Then she told me to close my eyes because when your eyes are closed, your third eye opens. And that's why you dream when you sleep. It's your third eye. You learn something new every day. Anyway, I laid there. She gave me some crystals to hold and put more crystals on my chest and stomach and legs and put a bell on my forehead that she would ring every few minutes. After a bit of that, she told me she had to leave the room for 5 minutes so her energy doesn't interfere with mine. But I could swear she left me on that table alone and blindfolded for like 15, maybe more. After she remembered I was still there, she came back, sprayed me with lavender, which was pleasant, did little karate chops on my body, and then had me sit up. I did hit my head on the RGB crystals, so I hope that didn't jostle my chakras. And that was that. She said I had a lot of energy and that I'm an old spirit, but I need to develop my third eye more, and she's gonna send me home with a couple incense to burn, and that I need to come back tomorrow. At this point, I was in too deep. All the other psychics, I was able to squeeze my way out of these situations. But I just ended up doing it this time, mainly because she told me to burn incense, but I didn't have an incense burner, and then she lent me hers. And I didn't want to just take it and dip, so I burnt the incense like she told me to, and went back the next afternoon thinking that was it, and after that I could start not coming back anymore. But then she gave me some crystals, more incense, and bath salts this time, and told me to meditate in the bath while holding the crystals and also burn more incense, which meant I go home with her incense burner again. And that's when my friends told me to stop there and not go back. So I didn't. By the way, she charged me $776. I have no idea how she did that. She said the chakra thing where I lay on the table was like $100 or $200 extra. And then after we were done, she gave me the card reader and it said $650, to which I was just like, sure, whatever. And then my email receipt said $776. Again, I am reminded of how these people actually stay in business. She called me a queen, gave me a crystal nap, and then took $800 from me. And last but not least, Psychic 5. So for her, when I called to book an appointment, she told me she only takes cash and that I have to call 30 minutes before our appointment to confirm. So I did that a few days later when our appointment was scheduled, and she's like, oh, I'll be honest, honey, I completely forgot about you. Can we reschedule to tomorrow? Which is like, first of all, how does a psychic forget? I rescheduled to the next day, but a few hours later, she called me back and was like, actually, I overbooked you on top of a different appointment. Can we reschedule to next week? And at this point, I'm annoyed, but again, I'm like, whatever. So we reschedule again. I called to confirm 30 minutes before again, and once again, she forgot. So I just gave up. Tell me how many kids I'm gonna have. And that was my psychic experience. I'm still pretty indifferent about all of it, but I can totally see how and why people can get super into it if they surround themselves with the culture. Whether it's real or I believe it or not, it was surprisingly nice to be told things were gonna be okay. I do think some of them can be a bit predatory on people at their low points, but hey, it's great to have my chakras rebalanced.
Cool new guy alert! We made a super cute Ari pillow available now. Look at this big man. He is huge and super soft and awesome. Head over to JaidenAnimations.com to pick one up. I genuinely love him so much. Also, I've been streaming a lot more recently and wanted to say the influx in art from all of that has absolutely blown me away. Thank you guys all so much. I try to see all of it, but it's quite literally impossible. But yes, thank you, thank you. Alright, until next time, bye bye!
When I say I was almost in Squid Game, I specifically mean Netflix's reality show version, not like the actual one where people died. Sorry for a bit of a bait there, but also I'm not lying. So before I get into that whole story, I need to explain how I was even put in that situation to begin with. Early last year, Jacob, our friend Joe, my brother Jax, and I all went to this little Squid Game pop-up event hosted by Netflix. It looked interesting, to say the least. A combination of curiosity and boredom are what convinced us to buy tickets. Our Uber took us to the location provided, and we were dropped off at a scary back alley in the streets of LA. Are you sure this isn't a setup for, you know, the real thing?
We hunted down the entrance, headed up Squid Game themed stairs, and inside was a big lobby with merch, snacks, decorations. You know what else was in there? No other human beings. We were the only ones there, along with the shape guys that were just staring at us. Are you sure this isn't— I don't know anymore. Staff signed us in and gave us numbered wristbands. What? It's like Squid Game! Eventually, more contestants showed up, and soon enough, we were herded into the starting room, decorated very much like no one actually cared about this thing. And if they did, corporate ruined it. The staff guy gave us the rundown on how the event was gonna work, all the rules, such and such, but sprinkled throughout the explanation were like a lot of safety hazard jokes. I know the concept of the whole thing is rooted in playing dangerous games and dying and ooh, evil dystopian. But he was saying things like, don't lean on the walls. You might rip through it, and I don't want to fill out any paperwork if you hurt yourself. Don't touch anything that you shouldn't touch. I don't want to have to fill out paperwork again. He was very anti-paperwork, like way more than the actual human safety part. Based on what we've seen so far, our group knew we were about to experience exactly what we were hoping for, but with not the death part. For the first game, we were led into a room with lines of glass squares. What? It's like Squid Game again! The glass jumping part! When it was your turn, the pattern on the 10 squares would be shown, and you needed to memorize which tiles to step on. It's like, well, I guess it's kind of like Squid Game. Kinda. The first batch of people stepped up, the patterns all flashed, but before anyone could begin stepping on glass, they were instructed to hold it and only take one step at a time. For the whole game, we had to watch everyone take one individual step, stop, wait to be confirmed, then take one more step for 10 spaces. In like 6 groups total. Also, I think that whatever mechanism they used to track if people were out or not was super busted, because literally only like 5 people in total got their pattern right. Joe, Jacob, and Jax all swore they memorized their pattern correctly, but were eliminated anyway. I know I botched mine up though. I've got paper shredder brain. They could give me one tile to memorize and I would still forget it. 25 of the 30 people failed their very first puzzle. Now, Netflix knew that if people paid $40, yeah, 40, to be in this shitty little Squid Game event and then had to go home after the first game, they would be pretty upset. So the rule was for the first 4 challenges, no one would be eliminated. Yay, woohoo, phew, that was a close one. In the next room, they tried to combine both the honeycomb game and the marbles game from the show, but what was put together was throw marbles in the shape on the table to win other people's marbles. It was very anticlimactic. Unfortunately, we were only able to gather in groups of 3, so Joe wasn't able to join us. Instead, he was paired up as a third wheel to a random couple that was obviously here on a date. Jax cleaned up shop on us. He got all our marbles within minutes. But over at Joe's table, malicious injustice was afoot. Apparently, the 2 people that were in a romantic relationship ganged up on Joe, and after taking all his marbles, just split them up between each other. Despite there being no actual stakes in the game, Joe was furious simply out of principle, and swore to get revenge on them somewhere, somehow. Before he could even start any beef, we were brought into the next room, and again, we're split into groups, this time of 4. They really liked group activities in this thing. Walking through the doors to the challenge, everyone was stationed around a respective gift coffin. After opening them up, it was revealed we were going to be playing a big version of Operation, the game where you try to pick up fake little organs with fake medical tools without touching the sides. So, simulated surgery. Like, I guess that was kinda in Squid Game. At least they decorated the boxes like it, but I mean, we're really pushing it at this point. Jacob and I randomly got paired up with this married couple, and the 4 of us started inspecting the tools when suddenly the woman goes, "Oh, will you pass me the forceps?" She's a surgeon. Oh my god, we just happened to be paired up with a lady whose literal job was operation. The challenge began and the 3 of us took our hands off the tools, she cracked her knuckles, and we watched as all the plastic organs were suddenly out of the prop body. Not surprisingly, our team was the first to finish. When we got back together with Joe and Jax, we explained how we got super lucky to be paired up with an actual surgeon that literally soloed the whole thing, and Joe was like, wait, that guy was a surgeon? And Jacob and I had to shake our heads and say, no, Joe, she was a surgeon. Damn it. Now that we were entering the 4th challenge, it was time to get serious. This was the first game where people would start getting eliminated for realsies. But not realsies. Everyone was split into 2 groups and taken to one side of a wall where there was a bunch of prop boats. It was a kind of not really IRL version of Battleship where we had to try and shoot down all the other side's boats, and the team that won would progress into the 5th game. I would describe this idea as good enough. Sure, we didn't get to choose where to put our boats since they were bolted to the floor, but I guess we did only pay $40 to be here. For some reason, though, the staff member on our side was, we can call it, extremely helpful. At first, he was saying general tips, like, so if they still have a 4-tile boat, let's check all the areas that could fit that. Saying vague hints to help us out a bit. But by the end of it, he was just straight up telling us, if I were you guys, I would shoot right here. Like, this guy wanted us to win, and win fast, so either he had some kind of bet going on with the other staff members, or dude just had places to be. All the other team's boats were sunk, and the remaining 15 or so people were led into the semi-final game. It was obvious as soon as we saw her, we were finally playing the classic red light, green light. It was decorated like the show, the doll was there, but there were giant gift boxes scattered around the room to act as obstacles, because when you think about it, red light, green light isn't high stakes when staff can't actually shoot the contestants. Like, something had to be added to spice it up a bit. We gathered on the starting line, and the game started. As we were playing, I was thinking, how are they measuring if we're moving or not? I doubt they recreated the entire motion tracking doll thing just for this pop-up that's getting torn down after a month. I figured the only thing they could be using to track motion is our wristband, so in between the green lights, I focused extra hard on making sure my wrist stayed as still as possible. In fact, I was focusing so hard on my wrist that I didn't even realize I was the first one to pass the finish line. Unfortunately, similarly to the janky glass memory game, it seemed like a lot of the wristbands were super wonky as well because a lot of people got pinged as eliminated no matter how still they were, including Jacob and Jax, which was a huge buzzkill. Either that or they were just built to be super sensitive and somehow my weak little carpal tunnel wrists decided to not shake for the first time in 5 years. I turned back to see just 3 people left. One of them being Joe. They all lunged forward, and as red light was called for the final time, I watched as Joe tripped and crashed into them, causing every person left to topple to the floor. Their wristbands deemed them eliminated. As Joe was walking past me to the dead area, I asked what happened, to which he said, I got him. Joe had intentionally sacrificed himself to bump those people because they were the couple that ganged up on him during marbles. He had finally gotten his revenge. Was it petty? Yes. Did he probably ruin their date? Yes. But do I also not care and think that was the funniest shit ever? Absolutely. Joe is awesome. I was somehow the only one in our group moving on to the final round. Me and the other 4 winners of red light, green light were brought into Squid Game. And everyone else was there too, watching from behind a little rope. Jaiden, Squid Game is so rough and tough. How did you fare against the 4 other dudes that made it to the end? In real Squid Game, the guy got stabbed. Did you get stabbed? You're probably wondering. And oh, dear viewer, no, I did not get stabbed. In fact, I didn't get hurt at all because Netflix didn't want to deal with paperwork. Instead, we played hold a fake egg on a spoon and attack each other until there's 1 egg standing, but attack in a way where there's no paperwork, which is fine with me because I doubt any of us actually knew how to play Squid Game anyway. The buzzer rang and everyone started shifting around in the shape. Since I, for some reason, have experience in high-stakes game tournaments, I deployed my signature strategy of don't bring attention attention to myself. I simply dodged and weaved between the guys swiping at each other's eggs. I can take someone on in a 1v1, but any number higher, and I've gone well past my capabilities. Eventually, there were just 3 people left. The crowd started yelling, "Get the girl's still in!" And the 2 guys started walking towards me. But then my personal peanut gallery chimed in with, hey, they're ganging up on the girl! Boo, shame, boo. And that flustered them enough to back away again. Apparently, the power of teamwork and fear of misogyny can persevere through anything. Suddenly, an egg hit the floor. It was just me and non-woman hating guy number 2. The exact 1v1 I was trying to create. We circled each other, both our spoon-holding arms stretched out as far as they could go. He swung at my egg a couple times and I managed to dodge, but I couldn't win this thing if I didn't go on the offense. Wait, what if I just... I won the silly little Netflix Squid Game pop-up. The front man came out and escorted me to the VIP area where he gave me a plastic animal mask, like in Squid Game. And we took awesome photos together, and I got an awesome t-shirt that said winner. And I didn't know it at the time, but as this was happening, the staff pretended to shoot all the losers with fake gun sounds. Unfortunately, I didn't get the 45.6 billion money prize like in the show. But along with the t-shirt, they did give me a special form to fill out that would give me priority application for Netflix's actual Squid Game reality show, Squid Game The Challenge, Season 2. I looked at the form and thought, you know, we'll just see what happens. Filled it out and was able to bring my friends back to the VIP room with me because winning isn't fun unless you do it with your friends. That's what Squid Game taught me. There were a bunch of snacks and alcoholic beverages in the winter area, and I gotta say, the alcoholic squid drinks were probably the worst things I've ever tasted. It was astonishing how bad they were. Over a year later, and I can still imagine it. I don't even know what ingredient could do that to a drink. Anyway, after I submitted my form, I half expected to never hear anything about it ever again. But to my surprise, Netflix reached out to interview me about potentially being a contestant on the show. In fact, I was forwarded to the next round of interviews 3 times to completely break any potential rules of confidentiality. I was starting to think there might be a chance I could actually be on the show. But eventually, the interviews came to a stop, and I have come to the conclusion they have moved on to better qualifying people. Most likely because I will admit I was a bit too honest during the interviews. They basically all just looked like this. What kind of a role do you think you would play in Squid Game as a contestant? I'd probably just be a follower. I don't like taking charge at all. How hard would you fight to win Squid Game? Not that hard. Have you watched the first season of Squid Game The Challenge? No. Well, I watched the first 20 minutes, but I turned it off because I thought it was really badly paced and boring. So that was that, and I'm okay with it. Or who knows, maybe they saw my very strange track record of winning game tournaments and got scared.
It kind of seems like those kinds of really intense and active game shows like real life Squid Game end up having a lot of people complaining about how they got hurt or weren't treated all that great anyway. So I'm glad I'm sitting safe and sound in the comfort of my own home. I'm glad I'm not dealing with Squid Game related injuries, in fact. Also, very quick reminder that Techwear merch is going away soon. If you're late to watching this video, it's probably already gone, to be honest. Sorry. I tried to warn you. Thanks for watching, though, and see you later. As a kid, I played a lot of DS games. I would be excited to go to the store with my mom while she ran errands just to be able to look at the games in the video game section, and some days, if I was lucky, she would let me get one. Since I didn't know anything about game reviews or top sellers as a kid, I would often choose games based on the cover art and nothing else, like a shallow commoner. So the day I saw this epic-looking dinosaur with flames on it, I knew it was dinosaur gamer time. I had a flashback to when I played this game called Fossil Fighters the other day. I don't remember anything about it other than the fact I just played it a little as a kid and there were cool dinosaurs. And I think I got stuck at the beginning and never finished it. I haven't heard anything about it since, and I'm surprised I was even able to scrounge around and dig up that old dusty memory. I decided to play it and see what Fossil Fighters was really like, because something in my mind told me it was worth revisiting. You boot up the game and the intro... Oh, that's familiar. When did this game come out? Yeah, alright, okay. Anyway, I'm not saying anything. Let's just start the game. We're not even 5 seconds in. I'm ready for an epic dinosaur adventure. Hell yeah. Play alone? Sure, yeah, if that's how you're gonna phrase it. The game opens up with you on a boat talking to the captain about starting your journey to become a fossil fighter on Vivisaur Island, where you dig up fossils, revive them, and then the natural next step of fighting them against each other. Also, I guess I'm a boy. Oh man, I'm excited to start working to become a world-renowned fossil fighter. I'm ready for the grind, the blood, sweat, and tears, hours, days, weeks of honing my skills and training my Vivisaurs to the best of their ability. I'm gonna give it my all and... Is that what I look like? No time to get stalled on comedically questionable character designs. I've got to get Vivisaur finding ASAP. I'm off! Look at me go! They've even supplied me with a map of all the important buildings on the island. We've got the hotel, the fossil stadium, the fountain, Beth. Dr. Diggins is the main Vivisaur scientist / researcher on the island, and he tells me about fossil reviving and fighting. Apparently, you only need a Vivisaur's head fossil to be able to fight with it. Oh, you're saying I can't have a dinosaur with just legs? Just watch me! Let me revive them legs! They'll kick your ass! He gives me my first fossil to clean and teaches me the basics. The hammer breaks up the rock, the drill gets the finer details, and you can blow into the microphone to blow off the dust particles. After hearing that part, I had to run a quick scientific test. Yep, screaming works just as well. You find fossils at designated areas of the island you travel to. Greenhorn Plains is the only one open to me right now because I'm just a teeny tiny baby level 1 fighter. I'm no soy boy. I left my friends and family to live alone in a hotel on Dinosaur Land. Watch me dig up this fossil like a pro and I'll show you who's the... Oh, what the? Oh, this area is blocked off because there's super mega rare fossils over there and you'll only let me pass by giving you all my dino medals, which are the only devices used to show you're a fossil fighter and have access to your Vivisaurs? No, I'm not stupid. I know a sketchy situation when I see one. Fine, take 'em, let me in there! But not because you fooled me. I just have nothing better to do. That guy stole my dino medals, and also there's nothing but trash here. God damn, I knew it! Hey! You get further in the game and learn about this evil organization called the BB Bandits, who are causing trouble and steal a sacred artifact from the Dig-a-Dig tribe's pyramid. Oh, sorry. Dig-a-Dig-a-mid. Some high-leveled fossil fighter went in there to find them, but hasn't come out yet, so the tribe wants to send backup. Yeah, I guess Rosie and I can help you out with that. We'll just head on in there. Oh, what you doing there? Those are some deep hip swings you got going on. Whoa, jeez! You can't just... Dude, she's dead. Well, I guess now it's just me going into this stupid dark digi-mid. I'm always the one having to fix all this frickin'... Oh, found him. Guys, I found the BB dudes. They're right there, so I see him. There's a weird dog and some pointy-nosed free... Ah! Well, that didn't go to plan. I didn't... Oh my god, it's Rihanna! And that's where the game ends. Forever trapped in the basement of a Dig-a-Dig-a-Mid. Just kidding. But I'm not joking to tell you I did have to look up a walkthrough because I couldn't figure out the dang puzzle to get out. But I defeated the BBs with my strong Vivisaurs and got this tacky idol. Yay. I'll just put that there. The game continues and you have more encounters with the BB bandits. Collect more weird idols the game doesn't even really think are cool either. Meet other people whose names are all just puns of their character. It's a bit of a grind to go out and dig fossils and then bring them back to clean only for the chance of getting a fossil you need. But I think I'm kinda getting the hang of it now. One thing that even after going through hours of the game I just couldn't get was the Vivisaur type advantages and disadvantages. Air, earth, fire, and ground. And neutral, but those guys are lame. Apparently, fire beats earth beats air beats water, and water beats fire. None of that makes sense to me besides the water and fire one, and I couldn't remember the chart for the life of me even after putting 25 hours into the game. I eventually was able to remember air is good against water, but only because I would just think of this. Rosie gets kidnapped, and after rescuing her, you learn the police chief is the BB bandit boss. So I think you guys are gonna need to do something about that. Then Rosie asks you to meet her at the park at night. She talks about how she was trying to act tough when she was kidnapped, but was genuinely scared and didn't know what was gonna happen to her. And she was so relieved to see me when I came to rescue her. She's thankful for all the times I've saved her. From the guy who scammed her and stole her dino medals, from when she was struck by lightning, from a pit of man-eating sharks. I'm not joking. Then she asks if I hate her by now because of all the trouble she's caused for me. Yes. Alright, so I thought this game would pull one of those, oh Jaiden, now's not the time to make jokes, haha. But if you tell Rosie you hate her, she genuinely gets upset and there's no redos. Oh, that's good stuff right there. By this point in the game, you've been having random encounters with this mystery girl named Duna. I don't know what her deal is, but she looks like Zelda. I've become a tough level 6 fighter by now, so I'm allowed to go to Mount Lava Flow, which is literally just a volcano. They're allowing a child to go jump into an active volcano. So you're feeling all high and mighty at this point. Look at me, I have permission to dig up fossils in a volcano. Hee hee hee. And there's a giant meteor in the way. Well, it was worth a try. Oh, hey, Duna, what are you doing here? I was just... Whoa! Oh, that was amazing. Thanks, Duna. I'll just be on my way. Duna... Thanks, Duna. I really owe you one. I'm on a mission from the professor to gather up all these weird tacky idols because we think there's some mysterious power they have, and you're evil. Give me the idols! No! Give me the idols! No! Wait, you're a dinosaur now? Wait, we're fighting? Haha! Maybe now you'll think twice before challenging me, the almighty level 6 fossil fighter. Oh, shit! So you saved Duna, and she thanks you and apologizes for thinking all humans were pathetic and selfish and an evolutionary mistake. A bit harsh, but I guess she apologized. She then explains how she's not human and in fact Dinorian, and her king is planning to destroy all humanity and take over the planet. Wait, what? Wait, now we're in space? What is happening to this storyline? I thought I was just gonna beat up dinosaurs. So Dino, the Dinorian king, is like, I will kill all humans and take over your planet. And Dune is like, no, don't! We were wrong about humans. They're actually not stupid like we thought. And Dino's all, I'm not listening to you. So I beat him in a fossil fight. And he changes his mind and is like, humans are intelligent. I was wrong. And then this guy Raptin comes in and is like, I will continue the king's plans! And presses the kill humans button. And Duna and Dinal's all, no! And I'm still just standing there with my dumb face. So bada bing, bada boom, now this Gunnash guy is coming to eat the earth. Oh, so this is my problem now. Jaiden, this teleporter will teleport you to Gunnash. You're the most skilled fossil fighter we've got, so you're gonna have to fossil battle Gunnash's 3 brains. It won't be easy, but you have to win. You can do it. Wait, so I'm gonna fight his brains? I'm going with him! I would like to go as well. Jaiden, we've gone through so much. Growing as fossil fighters together and going on so many adventures. You've saved me from so much and I owe you my life. It's time I step up. We can do this. Together. Yeah, I'm picking Duna. Sorry, Rosie, but you're pretty useless and Duna's cool. There's been so much talk and hype about the wrath of Gunnash. He sounds terrifying. Now that I've got to fight his brains, I started getting curious about what he looks like since everyone fears him so badly. Oh. Well, I mean, that's a planet-eating mouth if I've ever seen one. You beat Gunnash's brains and are supposed to be teleported out of there, but the teleportation malfunctions, and when you're beamed back to the lab, you realize Duna's been turned to stone with no way to be resurrected. No! It should have been Rosie! I was getting pretty bummed about that because I really like Duna a lot, but Chieftain Dig-a-Dig shows up and tells about a prophecy and the power of hip shaking, and if I shake my hips hard enough for Duna, she should be revived. I'm shaking my hips so hard for you, Duna. Oh my god, you don't even know! She's alive! My hips brought you back. Roll the credits. I loved Fossil Fighters way more than I thought I would. The game's charming and fun and just the right amount of self-aware to make it entertaining and funny, which I didn't expect at all. There were a few times where character dialogue actually made me laugh, and it was surprisingly packed full of story. I didn't even get to talk about half of what went on in the game. It's one of the only games I know that can have this type of graphics and animation and somehow just make it work perfectly. It's not a video game monument or something to go down in history, but it doesn't take itself seriously and tries its best to make sure you'll have a good time and a few laughs while playing it. And I'm glad I was able to experience this weird game again.
PSA, I have to give literally the biggest thanks to Chicka Conroy for letting me use his modded 3DS so I can record the footage for the game. He's honestly the one who made this video possible. So thank you, dude. It's really appreciated. I've been really enjoying the animated video game content because I don't think anyone's really doing it, and I'm having a lot of fun making them. So I have a request. If you have a 3DS capture board from the maker Loopy, please send me an email and I'll happily pay you to send it over so I can keep making these videos, because without one, I can't record the footage. Also, please attach a video of the device working as well, so I know it works. I appreciate you supporting me with all the new stuff, and hopefully you stick around for some more. If I can get it, yes. Yeah, see ya. Thanks. Normally I try to talk about games I've played before, or at least have heard a bit about, but when AlphaRad came to me and said, Jaiden, play Amazing Island. I don't know why, but I decided in that moment, yes, Jacob, my good friend, I trust you. I will play Amazing Island. And let me say, I do not regret it one bit. Let me take you on the journey that is Amazing Island. The game starts by telling you the story of a mysterious picture book about a mysterious island with mysterious amazing creatures that everyone loved. But then everyone suddenly decided it was boring and forgot about it for 1,000 years. Anyway, back to me. Please select your alter ego. Ooh, alright. I decided my alter ego is this little boy. Mainly just because I don't want to be the girl. Little man's over here with Bob the Builder overalls and 2 whole sweatbands. He means business. So I find the book that everyone decided they didn't care about anymore. Read it, go to bed, and suddenly I'm transported into the book world because I am a human and I guess they have low standards. Also, they gave me a complimentary trading card when I arrived. I started looking around when... Ooh! Why did that get me? Hey kid, time to play evil volleyball in the volcano! And with that sudden jump scare I wasn't expecting, I summoned the creature from the trading card, spiked evil guy into the lava with a ball that I think might be the sun, got a vision orb, and Skullman, whose actual name sounds very kind of offensive, is unpossessed and saved. The town elder is like, great job! Get 7 more orbs. And I was like, yes, because I'm an 11-year-old boy stuck on a possibly not real island with monsters and little tiki torch people. So to get the vision orbs, you have to play a series of little mini-games followed by a boss battle. I can't do the mini-games on my own, I guess, so I go to this mirror room and the little guy here is like, your dreams and imagination will materialize to form your partner and turn it into a reality. I will look into the depths of your soul and retrieve the being that is within you. Question 1. What's your star sign? 1 deep dive into my creative subconscious later, and my monster is... I see. So that's what's been floating around in my brain this whole time. His name is Nathans, with an S. Nathans and I merge and fly off to the first minigame trial, which begins with a simple foot race. Oh my... Look at... Holy crap! Look at him go! Oh... Okay, there we go. So that was an emotional roller coaster. Anyway, on to the next game, which is called Water Skip Slider. And oh my god, this game destroyed me. You've got to mash A, jump off the ramp, and flick the joystick at the right time to skip across the water. But for some reason, I just didn't understand the timing. Oh, I think that was too early. Go. No. Go. No. Go. No. No. I failed the game 6 times until I decided to give in and roid Nathan's up with a stamina potion. And then I lost again. It took 8 attempts to beat that game once. And I really can't give you a good reason why I'm so horrible at it. But dear lord, do I hope I never have to play that game again. Anyway, we're back on track. We won Beyblades, Attack Large Tower, and finally reached Evil Volleyball again. And what do? I flubbed it. I lost, like, immediately. Now. No. Now. No. Now. No. Okay. Alright. I have to replay all those mini games again. Skipping some content. Hey, look, we got the orange vision orb. What new power do I unlock with this shiny new vision orb? I already have this ability, actually. So, since I can create my own monsters now, I decided to create one monster per trial. Introducing Hayabusa, humanoid jelly bean who is withering away mentally and physically. He may be one windy day away from becoming dust, but you know what he's good at? Playing basketball. Just kidding, he failed, he sucks. His actual skill is matching big heavy metal heads. Nah, he failed that one too. Well, at least he can punch the most amount of little demons. Oh, he failed that one too. Oh, haha, check it out! Green vision orb, good job, buddy, really proud of you. Please stop being sad and pathetic. Back to the monster birthing mirror, and out pops my pride and joy, Creamer. Creamer's the top dog. He's everything Hayabusa wanted to be and more. Look at him go, a basketball pro. Next minigame is... No, not water skip Are you kidding me? So they make you play water skip slider again, but this time on top of the previous mechanics, there's giant pillars of rock you need to destroy while you're still trying to skip on the water. Anyway, so I failed it 3 times in a row. The stars aligned, and I was on to catapult craze. Ooh, perfect. Alright. Do I click stuff? Okay, there it goes. Oh. Alright, whoa, there's like 4 different bird cameras there. Look at him go! Creamer! Oh no, he's not gonna make it. No! Creamer! No! Well, now I've lost all my lives. I'd like to mention that Jacob and I were in a call for all of this because he wanted to watch me play Amazing Island. And at this point of the game, he was muted because he was on the phone taking a business call, but was still watching the screen share. So we were both sitting there in silence, watching me slowly deteriorate as I lose to Water Skip Crusher literally 6 times in a row.
Come on,
You're
dude.
so
We
good.
got it.
Let's skip to the end. This is getting painful. Yellow vision orb. Woohoo! In comes Wagner, the innocent little robot dog with one eye. Competitive Beyblade, stacking tower blocks, racing. He sounded in pain during the whole thing. I also wanted to mention with the Beyblade game, you get points when you're blasted into the air by the volcano, but turns out if you fall off the edge, the game also thinks you're in the air, like in a good way, and gives you points. So needless to say, I started exploiting the hell out of that mechanic. Blue Vision Orb! Now, I don't think you're ready for the next monster I created, but I will present him anyway. Behold, Scoliosis, the giant saw blade shrimp. Saw blades for arms, saw blades for scales, machine gun in the middle of his chest. You don't know how badly I wanted to put it somewhere else, but this channel is rated E for everyone, so it took all my willpower to refrain myself. Now when I'm entering a minigame, the intro text looks like a diagnosis. Nothing really out of the ordinary happened with Scoliosis, but with one of the minigames, I completely forgot I had to read the instructions and ended up not knowing what to do at all, and I just thought this clip was really funny. Help! I don't know what I'm doing! I thought I was supposed to match it like the other ones. I'm not getting... Oh, great. What's my score? After a lot of trial and error, Scoliosis got the water vision orb. I don't know if they started like running out of color ideas for the vision orbs or something. All of the orbs so far have been like the orange orb, the blue orb, the green orb, the yellow orb, water orb. I unlocked the monster body type Kid, so I decided to make a child. His name is Child. Holy crap, child is buff as shit! Hello, this is Max. He has many swords, and here's all. By the way, this game has thrown like 4 different versions of water skip slider at me throughout this whole playthrough, and I'm still not getting any better at them in the slightest. Look at Max go, full on sprinting with those swords like there's not a care in the world. Come on, don't do this to me. We're so close. Don't! Ah! So now that I've got all the vision orbs, it's time to fight the Black Evil. That's the game's actual name for the final boss. Please don't come after me for saying this. It's not under my control. But I've got one last thing I want to do. I wanted to combine all the monsters we've created so far and use that monster to fight the final boss. Nathan's eyes and wings, Hayabusa's arms, Creamer's tail, Wagner's little cognose thing, Scoliosis' saw blades, Max's legs and swords, Child's happy face t-shirt. They all merge into my other half. This is Animations. You get it? We enter the volcano willingly this time, and there he is. Black Evil. Again, the game said it, not me. I don't know why, but the game developers decided to crank the difficulty on this fight to hard as they possibly could. It's another version of Evil Volleyball, by the way. If you expected anything else, I don't know what to tell you. He throws this astronomical freaking burning star at you, and you have to press A at the right time to catch it. Wait until the very end of the cliff to throw it back, otherwise you'll lose your platforms and fall off. And also click at the right time to throw it far enough to hit him. I know, a bit confusing. And it's not actually easier to play. Alright, you're going down, dude. Watch this. Big throw. Big throw. Alright. This one. Big throw. Whew. Okay. Ooh, I don't know about this one. Final blow. Alright. Animations. Hold on. Yeah. So here, if you catch the sun at just the right time, you actually don't slide back and can immediately throw it at him, which is really good. But I think it's something like a frame perfect maneuver, so. Crap. Ooh, is this it? Oh, look at that health. No! Please! Yeah! But then... Oh, come on. Come on. Yes! Is he dead? Ah! I'll be honest, I completely forgot there was supposed to be a phase 2. The tutorial totally told me about it, but I was failing for so long it just completely left my memory. I was freaking out because I wasn't mentally prepared and also didn't know what to do. So Jacob was trying to coach me in real time amidst the panic. It was not good, but somehow I did it. Dude, I don't even know what's happening. I can't even see, like, what is... I won. Black Evil was defeated, and Amazing Island is saved. There's a bunch of dialogue and plot afterwards, but I didn't really read any of it because I just watched Animations do various little dances and celebration in the background. So, Amazing Island. I think this one sentence I said after the game was done really summarized it all up really nicely. This game feels too good for what it is. Almost every single minigame played really well, and the controls were never really a problem. Sure, I failed an embarrassingly large amount of times, but I'm pretty sure that's just because I'm incompetent. The music they created for the minigames actually, like, goes hard. Basically, I can't really point to any specific aspect of the game and say, yeah, that wasn't good. And something about that scares me, especially for a game that looks like this. I will cherish my creations and the memories I made in this game for as long as I live. Especially Creamer. I really like Creamer a lot, and I have no idea why. Anyway, my final thoughts. I think more people need to know about Amazing Island, so, I don't know, go play it. So, if you didn't know or have forgotten, there was a pandemic, and not only that, but said pandemic ended up canceling the super awesome tour Scribble Showdown James, Dom, Ross, Aaron, and I were planning on doing last year. But the good news is it's officially postponed. We have new dates. Tickets are on sale now. If you already bought tickets from 2020, those are all still valid points of purchase. You don't have to buy them again. I think DC and London are still trying to get all straightened out, but yeah, all the other places are good to go. You can go to scribbleshowdown.com to get tickets. I put the link in the description, and yeah, I'm talking about this a bit early, but I figured figured I'd let you guys know before we started going crazy with the promo, so you've got a bit of a head start. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Amazing Island is cool.
I think we all know the gist of what a speedrun is. Play game fast. But there's so much more that goes into it than what's on the surface. People spend hundreds of hours practicing games, finding optimal routes, discovering the most precise glitches that can save from minutes to just a few frames, which if you don't know is basically risking your entire run just for a few milliseconds of time save. I've come to love speedruns, watching them at least. Something about them is really cool to me, and I think the community is really cool. It's all cool. I've been lurking and watching various speedrunners for a decent amount of time, and I decided that I wanted to do a speedrun. Now, I don't really have the time to set aside hundreds of hours to hone my skill on whatever game I want, so I decided I had to do a blind speedrun where I just play it for the first time and try my best. I spent a few days racking my brain on what game I'd like to run. I like Pokemon. Maybe I could run a Pokemon game. But that's a lot of researching and memorizing and luck. I could try a Mario game. It's a popular category, but I don't know if it's for me. Then it hit me. The perfect game. Of course. Why hadn't I thought of it sooner? I ran to speedrun.com to check if anyone has run it yet. No one. None. I'm gonna be the first person in the world to speedrun Cooking Mama 2 Dinner with Friends that I know of. Why did I choose Cooking Mama? Because, dude, Cooking Mama is awesome. If you haven't played, it's a DS game where you follow steps to make food and impress Mama. The better you do, the better score you get. Plus, I'm at an advantage when it comes to preparing food. I've seen Food Wars. I know all the techniques and secrets. If you're under 18, don't look it up. Why did I choose the second game and not the original? That's the one I bought. Duh. I used to play Cooking Mama all the time as a kid with my friend Kate. I always thought Mama's English was really funny.
Great! You gave it your best effort.
I still love it. We even had this system where if we kept failing at a recipe, we'd have to change chairs because that one had bad luck. Obviously. I don't have that luxury this time because I have to stay by the computer, so I'll have to come up with a better strategy. Also, extra movements lose time. I need to be efficient here. Anyway, I wanted to have some sort of challenge, so I decided to add some rules to my run. 1, I have to fully complete the main game mode Cook with Mama. 2, I have to receive a gold medal on every single recipe. That means I can't make a mistake. Ever. Can't burn a single onion, can't accidentally pour the rice into the sink, can't smack my hand while pounding mochi. If I do, the whole recipe needs to be redone. 3, that's it. Do it fast, I guess. The first recipe is pizza, and I was off to a pretty good start. Obviously, it's a speedrun, so I didn't have time to read the little description on what to do each step, but for the most part, I was able to use my massive IQ and big, strong brain to decode the objectives in split seconds. Except in the last step where I didn't know how to work the oven and failed immediately. Again, off to a great start. After deciphering how the oven worked, I was moving on quickly. Peanut butter, poke the peanuts, done. Oops. Recover, adapt, overcome. Done. Sea bream carpaccio. Exfoliate the fish, chopping, restart. Choose smaller knife, easy peasy. Corn soup. Ew. Bald the corn, boil, strain. Oh, come on! Not all the corn came out. Alright. Admittedly, I was making a lot of mistakes at the beginning. I was nervous because it was my first speedrun, and I didn't know what I had to do most of the time, and was generally panicking. But then I remembered that no Cooking Mama 2 speedruns exist yet, so that means I'm on world record pace, and that made me feel better. One mechanic I had to learn the hard way was, when it comes to the oven, choose the low heat. The first attempt, I decided to go with the medium heat to go a little bit faster. And look at this!
Oh no! What was that?
That was a speedrun in itself. Burn the apple pie as quick as possible. You know how there's separate categories in speedruns? Mario Odyssey has the one where you take Mario's shirt off as fast as possible called nipple percent. I want one for Cooking Mama 2 called burnt apple pie percent, where you just burn the apple pie as quickly as possible. Anyway, I redid the pie and was moving on. Bonk. Eel rice bowl. We're about an hour in at this point. I had my friends in a Discord call so they can help me take notes so I didn't have to rewatch all the footage again for the script. And they decided to look up how many recipes there actually were in the game. I didn't know because I wanted to go in completely blind. And you know what they discovered? There are a total of 80 recipes in this game. An hour in, I was on recipe 8. which would be impressive in real life, but not here. So either we were gonna pull a Cooking Mama all-nighter, or I had to start picking up the pace. Sorry, Shrimp. This is gonna get violent. It wasn't perfect, and I was still making some mistakes, but I started getting into the zone. It helped that I was starting to get familiar with the mechanics and actually know what the game wanted me to do for most of the steps now. Waffles, chili dog, meatloaf, lobster. I was one-shotting all of them. I even put 2 mama flags on the lobster, which was a bit risky, but you know me, I live for the danger.
I almost forgot to put the lobster on.
Let me pause and tell you a story of my childhood. I already mentioned my love for Cooking Mama as a kid. Even 12 years ago, I set myself the goal of getting gold in all the recipes. But one haunting memory I have of this game was my struggle against the Mama Rice Cracker. All the steps are relatively simple, but at the end you have to stamp all 18 crackers with a Mama stamp. That's what makes the Mama Rice Cracker the Mama Rice Cracker. But as a kid, my DS was old and I dropped it a few times, which messed up the calibration on my screen in a way I couldn't fix. So that meant at the very end of the recipe, it was extremely hard for me to stamp the stamp in the exact spot that Mama wanted. I spent weeks, I'm not joking, trying to get the gold on the Mama Rice Cracker. It was the last one I needed, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I'm pretty sure I was eventually able to pass, but let's just say I didn't for the sake of drama. Either way, I was having PTSD. I was going through all the steps, washing the rice, putting the rice in the little hole, mochi pounding the rice scoop, and then it appeared. The screen that caused the most pain a video game could to a 10-year-old. I was slowly making my way down the line. Everything was going well. Then all of a sudden, on the 10th cracker, I accidentally tapped the screen when I was lining up my pen, causing me to not brand the cracker enough. I'm not one to believe in spiritualism or star signs or Destiny's Child, whatever that stuff is. But that moment in particular made me question if it was all real and my only fate is to eternally fail the last step of the Mama Rice Cracker recipe until I inevitably die an unaccomplished old man that makes ugly rice crackers. I did it right the next time, but that would have been unfortunate, right? With the Mama Rice Cracker conquered, now nothing was in my way, and I was making my way through the rest of the recipes. At the 2-hour, 37-minute mark, 27 recipes in, Ari got out of his cage and was running around the room, so I had to spend precious time getting him back under control. That was a loss of 2 minutes right there. Then I missliced the raviolis, so I'm blaming all of that misfortune on Ari. I actually struggled a lot on the ravioli recipe. The pasta is really hard to cut because you have to time the slice with the line, but since I was so focused on when to cut, a lot of the time I would deviate from the actual line to cut from and mess up. Then when I was able to get past that stage, for some reason the mic had trouble hearing me blow, so even though I was doing what I was supposed to, I'd fail anyway.
Did you hear it?
Overall, I had to redo the ravioli recipe 6 times, and I spent 11 minutes on it. Not great. Thanks, Ari. But after that, I was able to one-shot both the cake and the spring rolls. And can we talk about how the ice cream recipe literally just makes you scoop out store-bought ice cream and put sprinkles on it? That's been my favorite recipe so far. Skipping forward a bit, let's talk about the mango pudding. This was ravioli part 2. The first step I had trouble with was memorizing the order of the ingredients. It was a 6-part Simon Says memory game, and my big smooth brain can only handle one number at a time before the concept of object permanence leaves my body. I inevitably got a lucky pattern that was easy to remember, and after a few more steps, in the end, I had to draw a line at a specific speed that would remove the pudding cleanly. Too slow and it wouldn't come out. Too fast and it just... For the life of me, I couldn't get the pacing right 3 consecutive times in a row. And with the combined difficulty of that, along with the memorizing, I spent another 10 minutes trying to get it right and still failing. My confidence was shattered and I had to take a mental health break. I'll be back for you, mango pudding. I'll come back stronger, and I'll cook you so well I'll become the mama. I was in shambles from the pudding, but was able to move on and started getting back into a rhythm. All these foods, I was knocking them out one by one. I will note that I struggled with popcorn because I thought there was going to be some sort of indicator or something on when to open the lid. So I just sat there until I realized I burnt it all.
Oh, wait.
So I was like, oh, okay, I'll open it when I hear the popping sounds. And then I opened it with like 5 popcorns. But it's okay, I was able to figure it out. Overall, the rest of the run went on without any major problems. I was able to finish up the rest of the recipes, and at the 6-hour, 38-minute mark, I only had 2 recipes left. The bento box, and of course, the mango pudding. Time is ticking. We're in the end game now. Also, my Discord friends were ready to never talk to me again. I thought I could just get the bento box over with quickly because it's like, you just put food in box, right? Well, actually, I didn't realize I had to include food from all the categories Mama gave me or something. So I failed it like 3 times and was on the brink of insanity trying to figure out what Mama wanted from me. The food is in the box, Mama. That's what a bento box is. Food in box. What else do you need? Blood? A blood sacrifice? It didn't say anywhere in the instructions that I should have put more variety in there. Not that I was reading the instructions anyway. I still, right now, don't know what Mama wanted, but at least I finally got the gold after 4 minutes. That meant I only had 1 last recipe. 79 were completed. The mango pudding was the only thing standing between me and the first Cooking Mama 2 Dinner with Friends world record. I clicked it nervously, but I climbed my mountain. I trained with Mama, and I've come back a new chef. Peeling, slicing, blending, I was quicker than ever. There it was. The memorizing. I was doing well until...
No!
I restarted. I was sweaty and shaking. My brain was shutting down. My eyes had only been seeing Cooking Mama for the past 6 hours and 45 minutes. Every breath was Cooking Mama. Every neuron in my skull was Cooking Mama. Every atom in the universe at that moment was Cooking Mama. But my next attempt, oh my god, oh Jesus, is this the one? I nervously went through the rest of the recipe until I arrived at the last step. It's been about 3 hours and 15 minutes since I practiced removing the pudding from the mold, and to be honest, I don't remember the removal strats. First one, second one, let's go! I got all the puddings out flawlessly. I waited until the results to confirm it. Boom! 100 points on the mango pudding. Stop the timer. I did it. At long last, all 80 recipes in Cooking Mama 2 gold. In 6 hours, 47 minutes, and 27 seconds. There might be some room for improvement there. Overall, I had a really fun time with the speedrun. It's not even close to a good run, and the time can easily be halved, but I still pride myself in knowing I was the first one to complete and document the Cooking Mama 2 all gold %, and also burnt apple pie %. If there's any speedrunners out there wanting to try and take my crown, I'll share some speed strats I thought of during the run. If you complete the steps too quickly, you get a bonus, and at the end of the recipe, if you get 5 bonuses, you receive a gift that you can't reject or skip, which loses a lot of time. You're smothering me, Mama. So if you can get no bonuses within the entire game, you'd be saving a lot of time. Another tip is, if you're gonna mess up the recipe, don't mess up the last step. Because if you do, you have to wait through Mama giving you your score and clapping for you and being like, yeah, it's almost perfect. And the whole time you're like, yes, Mama, I know it's not perfect. I dropped an egg. And then she gives you like 3 presents in a row because you got too many bonuses. And you're just screeching at her to shut up the whole time. I didn't discover any glitches that would save time, unfortunately. I don't know what a Cooking Mama glitch would look like, but it doesn't sound pleasant. But it doesn't matter, because as of this moment right here, I'm the one with the Cooking Mama 2 Dinner with Friends world record. Guess I finally did something with my life after all. Anyway, thanks for watching my first attempt at a speedrun. I think, in hindsight, I should have chosen a game that could have been done in a few less hours, because I feel like I aged 20 years after this. But you live and learn.
I wanted to submit my run to speedrun.com, but since no one has run the game yet, I need to submit a request to add Cooking Mama 2 Dinner with Friends. But I only made my account last night, and to make a request, I need to have had my account for 7 days. So I'll submit it in 7 days. But it's not gonna be interesting. I didn't record my audio with it. It's just 6 hours of Cooking Mama gameplay. Also, we're working to drop some new merch in the shop really soon. I don't know if it's on the site yet, but it's coming. And we've got some real fun stuff in the works. Alright, that's it. See you later.
As you know, most games are pretty flexible in terms of getting to go as fast, or slow if you're lame, as you want. And honestly, it's pretty hard to limit that from players. Maybe you could turn the main character into an old man who has trouble walking or something, but that's not fun. At least in theory, I don't know. But you know the one video game genre that forces everyone to play at the same pace? Rhythm games. Rhythm Heaven is one of my favorite games, especially in the rhythm category. I played it constantly growing up, and I wanted to come up with some dumb excuse to play it for a video. So today I'm speedrunning a rhythm game. How does that work? In actuality, I have no idea, but this is what I laid out for myself. As the video game masochist I am, I wanted to make sure I had some sort of challenge capable of driving me to the brink of insanity, so I'm gonna be running the all medals category, which means I only have a certain amount of mess-ups per minigame before I fall from award-winning gaming greatness into low-life scum. And since I'm not running a game no one else has run before, I have some competition for the first time. There's a decent amount of runs already submitted, so to compete with them, I need to make sure I get first try medals throughout the entire game, every time, all 50. I need to play 50 rhythm games in a row without messing up. I thought about going for an all perfects run, and then I did a test play to see how hard it would have been, and I was like, no, this would actually make me want to stop breathing. So here we go. This is my experience speedrunning the 14-year-old rhythm game, Rhythm Heaven Fever. For my first run, I just wanted to play through the whole game to simply see how it would go. You know, learn what I needed to practice, get my pacing. And you know what? It was kind of an insane first try. I only messed up on 2 games in the entire run. Figure Fighter 2, which is this game where you're a puny little shrimp man who gets inflated to punch a punching bag in front of a crowd of a couple hundred people. And Remix 10. Of course. If you've played Rhythm Heaven Fever, you know about Remix 10. The game organizes all the mini-games into columns, and after you play 4 of them, there's a remix that's like a medley of the whole column. It's genuinely cool, but for the last remix, it's a nearly 4-minute game of every single mini-game you've played up until that point. Like I said, very cool, but also terrifying from a speedrun perspective. Anyway, besides getting okays in 2 minigames, that means I was perfectly prepared for all the others, and I was shocked. That's not half bad. In fact, that's 96% not half bad. I even started thinking to myself, oh man, if I get this run faster than anticipated, maybe I can't even make a video for it. I was worried I would get it like attempt 2 and then not know what to talk about. Which, no, I do have a video for it. As you can see, I went into attempt 2 with a very heightened sense of confidence, ready to complete my run second try, and I immediately missed the first beat. Up!
Jaiden.
So that run's dead. Attempt 3 was going alright, making a few more mistakes than normal, but was still doing well enough to keep getting medals. Then I got to Donk Donk, which I hate. I hate it, and it's the worst one. You're this middle thing and have to dunk against the other things to make this blimp go fast or something. Honestly, the whole concept of this one is beyond me, but I was just barely missing the marks, and when I say barely, I mean I was still donking against them, but in a way that's like, I definitely didn't dunk perfectly. A few other games have this visual feature, and throughout the run, I was telling my friends Jordan and Kelsey, who were helping me take notes and keeping me company, and saying, I have no idea if that means I completely messed up or if it's a, that was a close dunk, but we'll give it to you type of thing. And then after the game ended, I need to like look up if that's bad or not. It is bad.
Apparently it's bad, Big Jim.
Alright, well, run's dead. Well, alright, I guess I got that answer. I started another run after that and messed up at the very beginning before I could even do anything. The timer starts after choosing your new file and clicking yes when asked to continue. And then immediately after that, there's a very long tutorial. But speedrunning strat, you can actually skip that pesky little tutorial by after clicking yes, immediately clicking the home button and restarting the game. See, this run is cool. It's got cool skips and stuff. Anyway, I missed the reset button. It's petty and not a big deal, but I restarted it anyway because why would I leave in an extra half second of time loss like that? My mental game for that run was already irretrievable. Attempt 5 was on its way until I messed up too much on Flock Step, the game where you're a bird within a group of other birds all migrating and walking at the same time. I got trampled. So yeah, it felt like I was
only doing worse and worse. The first run was almost perfect immediately, and now it felt like I was losing my mojo. Why did I have to jinx it? Why did I have to think I was gonna be too good for this challenge? But then I got on this run. A run where I was doing better than I ever had before. Remix 1, Remix 2, Remix 3. I was getting perfects. Maybe the occasional 1 or 2 mistakes, but that was it. I was in it. The zone. Not that it mattered I was getting perfects, it still gives me the same normal medal, but I was doing well, alright? And it was an overall calm feeling too. I didn't mention it, but my very first run, I was on the verge of passing out or something. My anxiety was through the roof. I knew it didn't even matter, but the entire run I was having to take deep breaths and tell myself to calm down and stuff. My hands were shaking, but after a few runs, my speedrunning anxiety had disappeared and I was just calm and focused. Until I got to the end game. Then it came flowing back and it felt like my heart rate was so high I should have stopped immediately and had someone drive me to urgent care. We need a doctor! She was trying to speedrun Rhythm Heaven! Isn't that a rhythm game? I started up Samurai Slice 2, which I was extremely worried about because it was the second time I'd gotten this far since the first run. I didn't mention it, but the actual reason I lost my second attempt was because of this game. So now there's trauma there. Jordan and Kelsey stayed silent so I could have maximum focus, and as I started getting into it, Jacob joined the call. Jacob, you're a very great friend, and I was very happy you joined, but oh my goodness, I was sweating bullets.
Hello.
Hello.
How's rhythming?
It's going good so far.
Jaiden's in focus mode.
I assumed as much. How far is this?
I think we're about halfway.
We just finished Remix 7.
Nah, we're about 3/4 done.
Oh, nice. How have you guys been?
Very good.
Good.
I came in at a good time.
Oh, phew. I was sweating so hard. Phew! Alright, moving on. Honestly, still, I was doing really well. It wasn't until Love Rap 2 that I even hit my first 4 mistakes in one game. Very frightening, but I still squeaked by. Side note, I have no idea the technicalities of how many mess-ups I'm given per game. I was just hoping and praying the entire run. Then it was time. I was at Figure Fighter 2 again, the game that officially ended my first run. I practiced it religiously after that, desperately trying to assure I would never fail at it ever again. This game is deep into the run too. It's like one of the last 5 in the entire game, so losing at that one did sting quite a bit the first time. After lots of nervous pep talk to myself, I went into it. And you know what happened? I knocked it out of the park. From 5 mistakes that cost me the run, all the way down to 1. I get to continue on. Every minigame onwards was just exponentially heightening my anxiety further. I was doing really well, but that's what was terrifying me. I didn't know when the mistakes were just gonna hit, and it felt like any second I could kill the run. Because I could. I'm being completely honest, unfortunately, when I say this was probably the worst nervous anxiety I've ever felt in my entire life. A Rhythm Heaven fever speedrun. I was taking deep breaths every chance I could. It felt like I had chills. I would have liked to pause and calm myself down, maybe get a cold towel, but I couldn't because, you know, it's a speedrun. I was saying things like, I can't handle this. Oh no, I can't. My chest hurts. I feel like my ribs are gonna fall out of me. Okay. More deep breaths. Some water, maybe. I hate this feeling. I don't want to live with this feeling any longer.
Only 5 left.
Maybe I was starting to hallucinate or something, but it felt like I was literally having nervous wreck heart palpitations. Both scenarios are equally likely, but I was somehow keeping it together on the outside and made it to the grand finale. Remix 10. This was also the game I practiced the most, next to Figure Fighter 2, so I was technically prepared, but not mentally. I was falling apart mentally. Crumbling, if you will. But I had no time to try and calm down. That would be time loss, of course. So without hesitation, I had to start it. All things considered, even though I couldn't hear the game over the sound of my heartbeat, I was doing pretty decently. But then the first mistake hit. I don't technically know how many mistakes that counts for, but it's okay. It's assumedly the first one. Then it happens again moments later. This is what I was talking about earlier when I don't know if that counts as an actual mistake or not. Can I look it up? Does the internet have the answer?
I don't know, maybe, probably. But I'm in too deep to check at this point, so I'm not going to. The run continues.
2, 3, go! Ready, and tap, tap, tap.
It happens again. I wasn't ready for the switch to the tap dancers and missed my cue. They literally harassed me in-game about it. It's all slowly falling apart now. I don't think I can make any more mistakes. Do I know for sure? Not at all, but that's what was filling my head at this point. I continue, and... Dear God, no. I missed 3 of the little dots. I'm sure it's over now. I don't know how many technical mistakes I've made at this point, but it just feels like too many. I'm completely in the dark now if I'm even en route to pass or not. I will add in my Remix 10 practice, at the very end there's a little credits minigame, you know, like the ones I skipped, where you tap A on beat to make the little mascot guy fly in the air. There's one part I just couldn't get at all, and that was the double tap where he does like this little roll into a jump. There wasn't a single time in training that I could get that part, and always missed it, and when I needed it most, did I get it in the run? No. That's it. I don't know how many mistakes that was, but it was too many. My heart sank, dude. All that work just to fail at the very end. All that anxiety I'm gonna have to relive. I just didn't know if I could handle it. Like, physically. I wasn't joking about the heart palpitations / hallucinations. All I could do was sit there at the foot of Rhythm God and wait for my judgment. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I genuinely don't know.
This one's be like, careful.
No, don't say it, don't say it. Oh my god!
You did it! Yay!
I did it!
1 minute, or
That-
1 hour and 53 minutes.
That was so stressful.
Holy
Oh my-
cow.
I don't know how, but I did it. I finished the run. I was free. I officially played all the Rhythm Heaven Fever minigames and didn't fail at earning a medal first try on any of them at all. 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 1 second. That's my final score. How does that compare to the world record? Honestly, not even close. I don't really know how they saved so much time. My main guess is that playing on the Wii is much faster in terms of loading time. I was playing on a Wii U, and that could affect how fast everything loads. I don't know. But also, there's no way I'm gonna play on a Wii for YouTube. Do you know how crunchy that would make this footage? I'd rather take the time loss bullet so I don't have to cross my eyes just to rewatch my footage. So how does my run compare to the people who did the same run on the Wii U? Second best. And you know what? I'll take it. I have no idea how this guy ended up saving like 10 seconds, but being the second best Wii U Rhythm Heaven Fever All Medals runner is fine with me. I am settling, and I am proud. Will I probably lose this record hours after this video goes up? Absolutely. But that's just how it goes. People message me for weeks, months after my Cooking Mama 2 speedrun video being like, Jaiden, you're not the world record holder anymore. And it's like, yeah, I know. Thanks for rubbing it in. I'm trying to cope over here. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm actually really happy people started running Cooking Mama, especially the burnt pie percent. I felt honored in a really strange way. Anyway, after trying my hand in speedrunning a game that has a semi-active, honestly at the moment kind of dead, running base, I now realize speedrunning is terrifying, especially if content is on the line. I'd probably like it more if I did it for fun in my free time, but yeah, oh well. I'm happy I finished my run. Despite everything, I had a great time. And it just feels good knowing I'm half decent at Rhythm Heaven now. A skill that will be very useful. Absolutely never. I really still can't believe I almost had a panic attack because I was speed running Rhythm Heaven, but hey, just put it on the resume, I guess. Sorry the videos have been coming out more sporadic in terms of frequency. Honestly, the reason why is because they're just longer in general, which takes a bunch more time to animate. But they're fun. I like the videos. I think they're fun. Maybe if I just stock up on a bunch of videos for like 6 months, I can post regularly like a normal content creator for like a month, and we can all pretend it's normal and awesome. Just an idea, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I appreciate any and all support you guys have for me. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
So James from The Odd Ones Out did a video about his 7-day vegan challenge baby solves all your problems. And if you go to the end of his video, he actually nominates me to do the 7-day vegan challenge baby solves all your problems. If you haven't seen James's video, you should really watch it because he covers some important points in it. But I accept your challenge, James. I will not eat or purchase foods that contain any animal products in it. I give to you all my 7-day vegan challenge baby solves all your problems. So here's a secret. Eating vegan is easy. It's so easy. You might think it's hard, but it's easy. Look, 1/2 cup non-dairy milk, 1/2 cup oats you blend into flour, 1 banana, blend together, boom, breakfast pancakes. Tomato, avocado, cucumber, greens, hummus, sriracha, boom, lunch sandwich wrap, black beans, rice, sweet potato, more sriracha, greens, boom, dinner, boom, food! I thought it'd be boring to post a video of me just eating food for a week, so to actually bring you guys entertainment, James and I bought a bunch of weird vegan substitute foods to try together. So yeah, here's that instead.
Okay, so we bought these vegan flavored foods.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try and eat them. So I got this veggie burger, and it like has no instructions on how to cook them. So we're just gonna stick it in the microwave, see what happens.
Do you need scissors?
No.
That's a weird texture. There they go.
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
I'm messing with you.
So while those are cooking in the microwave, we're gonna do the bacon. I mean, it kind of looks like the same texture as the burgers.
Yeah.
We also, as these things are cooking and stuff, we got these baby things. Just because
Purely
it says,
because of the box.
just because it says vegan and there's a crazy baby on it.
This isn't Photoshop. This baby is actually excited
This
for
is
these
the
crackers.
reaction you will have when you eat these crackers.
No dairy, no eggs, no yeast, no salt, no cholesterol, no preservative. This is nothing. You're eating nothing. Yeah.
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that crunch.
Me neither. Babies don't even have teeth. How are they
Yeah,
supposed
these
to
are
eat
for
this?
teething. Do you just like saliva on it? Oh. ASMR?
Not on my top 10 favorite foods. I don't know if the bacon is supposed to look cooked or not.
Is it almost ready? I mean, technically, we're not cooking out any, like, salmonella or
Yeah.
anything. We're just heating it up, I guess. We don't know. All the buns that are over there have, like, non-vegan stuff, like cow milk. So we're just gonna use normal bread. All right, and then we're gonna go crazy. And we're gonna put the bacon on it, too.
A bacon burger.
Yeah, we're putting together the perfect vegan sandwich. Hey, Jax.
How do you feel? I don't like it. What do you taste? You shouldn't be tasting any soy or cholesterol. All right, bye,
Yeah.
Jackson.
Only babies can enjoy this. I'm gonna close these masterpieces. Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it really good? Yeah, it is good.
Glad I made two.
Yeah, this is our lunch. We just made lunch.
We didn't even have to hunt anything.
Yeah, there's no killing in this sandwich. Just tofu and plants and happiness. And we also have bologna.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the little package. They're in like little discs.
We're just gonna eat it like this. It doesn't smell like bologna.
It doesn't? What does it smell like? Like peace?
No killing. It actually does kind of taste like bologna, though.
Can I try some?
Yeah.
It's making me uncomfortable because it actually does taste like,
But it's pretty spot on.
it's very spot on. Like, a lot of people on YouTube, they say like, oh, we're gonna eat weird vegan food. And it's like, oh, this is disgusting.
No.
I mean, I don't know what they bought, but this is pretty good. We're having a grand time.
We need to start like faking our reactions. Oh!
It says right here, 100% vegan, cholesterol free, non-GMO, that thing,
That thing.
a lot of protein, kosher, and gluten-free. So,
So what is made out of it? Ingredients.
Plants?
Water, soy protein. Flip it like woo!
I don't think I can.
I just saw one little. If this tastes like chicken, then like, why even eat chicken again?
Yeah. Okay, so as these cook,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna try these things.
Ooh!
It might have coconut and banana, but it's green, so I'm not sure.
This looks like bird food. Oh.
Look how cute. Cheers. Oop.
Oh.
Oh.
I think we found something.
It's like changing as we eat.
Yeah, like a Willy Wonka thing.
Ew, it tastes like a candle.
This is banana and
It tastes-
coconut? I probably look really gross from this angle.
The chicken is warm now, so we're gonna make chicken wraps. And James is cutting tomato.
Welcome to our vegan house. We should do like a parody vegan cooking show. All right, so what you want to do is you want to dice these tomatoes up. Make sure they're not too thick, not too small. Kind of like this. Very ripe. Ooh, hot. Ooh, hot. Ooh, hot. Ooh, hot. Gosh. I'm good. So what you want to do is you want to put the chicken in the wrap, like so. This one needs more. You microwave the bacon. It's really hot. Maybe it's just there. Okay.
Look at that. That actually looks good.
Just big old bite.
Is it good? That face, I can't tell by your face.
The chicken tastes like how I thought it would taste.
Which is?
Not real chicken, but it's sort of there.
But it's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Rate it.
5 out of 7.
Jax is back for more.
What is it?
It's chicken. Without any killing.
No, there's a whole
There's
bunch.
no murder in this chicken.
No, this is not just make. This is to bring a smile to your face.
Come on. There's no murder.
It's better than the other one.
So now that we have all this gourmet food, we're gonna wash it down
With milk.
with some beverages. So that was the almond milk. Now we're trying rice milk.
I don't know, like I said 4 out of 10. What did you say it was?
I said 7 out of 10 for that rice milk. Ready? Oh, that tastes like,
Vanilla-y.
it's sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we got vanilla flavor.
Oh.
It tastes like Rice Krispies, and then it tastes kind of weird.
So what would you rate it?
4 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was about to say 7, so it's
Really?
flip-flopped. Hemp milk. This is the one that you can get high off of, right?
Ooh.
Looks different. Looks like it looks like you put water and like I put a lot in there and flour.
Let's do it. Oh my god, it's really bad. Oh my
we
god.
didn't pay too much for this.
Oh my god, it tastes like
Water
water.
and flour.
Yes, it tasted exactly like you said it would.
How people eat this?
Oh my god, that was the worst one. 0 out of 10.
I was going to say 1 out of 10, just in case this is worse. I need to do 0 out of 10.
I mean, okay, 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. The last one is
Hit me up.
oat milk. It's yellower and also like thin. You know how? Oh,
How did that happen? It has the same color as eggnog.
it does. Merry Christmas.
Okay, not.
Oh, it tastes like oatmeal if you like ate it and spit it out. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
So-
and now the piece de resistance.
Yeah. What's the dessert that we have on the menu?
It looks like this Reese's Puffs cake. With the inside.
Ooh.
That seriously is a Reese's cup.
I was expecting it to be better.
I'm disappointed. 5 out of 10.
I was gonna say 5 out of 10. So this is what it looks like to be vegan. Yay!
And that was that. I made it through the 7-day vegan challenge, baby. Solves all your problems. I had an optimistic view going into it, and that's probably what gets people the most when they try it. I think the worst part about vegans are really just the stereotypes, which, I mean, yeah, there's gonna be crazy nut jobs out there, but when you think about it, there's crazy nut jobs in all communities. You wouldn't assume that all gay people are flamboyant, or that all Asians are martial art masters that are good with math and chopsticks. People are gonna get triggered if you think like that. Vegans just get stuck with the crazy stereotypes. Jaiden, what about the people on YouTube constantly preaching about activism and blah 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 blah? Yeah, they preach because they're activists. They take action. That's activism. Like, okay, step back. When people hear vegan, a common thing to think of is, oh, they won't stop bringing it up that they're vegan all the time. But how often do you actually hear people doing that in real life? It's kind of come to the point where someone can't even say that they're vegan without other people freaking out. Do you want some of this burger? Oh no, I'm good. What? Oh, come on, don't be modest. You want some. Oh no, I'm really good. I actually don't eat meat. You don't? No. Why not? I'm vegan. Oh, come on, you know I'm exaggerating. Kind of. So, I guess I should challenge someone to do the 7-day vegan challenge, baby. Solves all your problems too. Well, I mean, if you want to do it yourself, then go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. But I'm going to nominate Tony V. Tunes and It's Alex Clark. So yeah, that was that. Thanks for watching. And go eat a sandwich that has no murder in it. Or pasta. Pasta is vegan. Lots of people don't know that. Go eat pasta. 7-day vegan challenge baby solves 7-day vegan challenge. The 7-day vegan challenge baby. James, why do you have to make it so hard to say? The 7-day vegan challenge baby. So, the bloopers I recorded for the end card didn't give me enough time to showcase the amazing fan art you guys make for me. Like, what in the frickin' heck? You guys are more talented than I am. That's not fair. So, I'm recording a little bit more audio so I can have more time to showcase more artwork at a decent speed. Otherwise, it'd be like, phew, phew, like going way too fast. But honestly, thank you to everyone sending me drawings. It's awesome. I really wish I could show them all. As you can see, I'm trying to do as much as I can, so I apologize if I can't put your art into a video. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Blah, blah, blah. Jaiden, that's enough talking. We just want to see the secret end clip that's at the end of the video. I mean, what?
This is for views. This is for all of you who are stuck to the end of the video.
He's gonna drink. What one are you drinking?
This is the hemp one.
The hemp one's the worst. It's... I know absolutely nothing about Digimon. Pokemon is my entire life, so why would I need to branch out? Well, I happen to be a very open-minded person, and the only way to prove that is to play a Digimon game for the first time. I wanted to see if, putting all my bias aside, I could bridge the gap between the two, and they could live together in harmony in my tiny little brain hobby drawer. So thus began my journey on finding the perfect Digimon game to start out with. At first, I didn't think that would be a difficult feat. Every community kinda has the general agreed consensus on what media is best to consume as a newcomer, right? All it takes is a quick Google search, I play what the internet people tell me, and now I'm a Digimoner. Well, apparently not here. I've come to realize that it's a bit complicated for them. Everywhere I looked, there were threads upon threads of people trying to agree on what Digimon game is even good in the first place. Pretty much every comment I read said something along the lines of, this game is pretty good, yeah, except for these things, or this game is great, if you can look past these extremely annoying mechanics. Every time I thought I had a lead on a game, I would look further into it and realize a lot of people actually had a lot of complaining to do. And it wasn't even angry complaining, it seemed like I've walked in on a fandom that has just been hurt over and over, and they're really trying to hang on to something and believe in the good of the franchise, but they've just been put through a lot. You know, kind of like the Sonic fandom. I've never had to do so much research just to find a single game in a franchise that people can just all agree is good. People were talking about how they like Digimon World, but apparently it's like a tedious and frustrating Tamagotchi game where you just start over if they die. Digimon World 2 is apparently a dungeon crawler, but extremely grindy and complicated, and I read a lot of people complaining about it just being bland. People said Digimon World 3 is a typical RPG, but the battles get tiring and annoying, lots of backtracking and never feeling like you get anywhere. Digimon World 4, Digimon World Championship, the list goes on and on. Con after con. I spent multiple research sessions searching, even opted for a last-ditch effort by asking, Twitter. Everyone was saying different things. No one seemed to be able to agree that there was just one game that was overall good and easy to start with. And Digimon fandom, if there truly is a good game out there, you guys need to start pitching the franchise better. You made this difficult. I will say it seemed like the majority of people enjoyed Digimon Cyber Sleuth, but the thing is, that's not really the type of game I wanted to play for the channel. It looks like it's got more of a Persona 5 vibe that focuses more on the story and characters and stuff. That's just what I've read, I don't know. Either way, it wasn't the fit for what I'm looking for. I'm sure I would love it as a casual playthrough, but it just didn't hit my content checklist. All this research led me to a game I decided to settle on. Digimon World Dawn. It didn't seem perfect, I saw complaints with it, but I thought, you know, it seemed like the same amount of complaints other Digimon games were getting, and there were enough people talking positively about it. I figured I could look past the criticisms, maybe even if I was aware of them beforehand, they wouldn't bother me too much. And plus, I thought it looked nice. I like the pixel art, and I'm a sucker for good pixel art. So after all that, all the research, knowing the flaws beforehand, having a positive mental attitude, I settled on a good enough Digimon game, right? Something at least playable, right? As much as I want to say yes, this was one of, if not the most miserable video game experiences I've ever forced myself to go through. And that isn't even as a biased Pokemon player, that's as an enjoyer of fun. I was aware of Digimon World Dawn's criticisms, I knew what I was getting myself into, yet despite all the warnings, all the positive outlooks, all of the manifesting to be able to frolic hand in hand with both the Digimon and Pokemon franchises together in a beautiful field of 1,000 sunflowers, it was just awful. It started out lighthearted. I tried to put my name in and realized they only allow 5 characters for the main character's name. So I'm Jaiden. Before any gameplay, I'm given 4 different packs of 3 Digimon. The Balance Pack, Attack Pack, Speed Pack, and the Japanese Pack. And honestly, I was shocked to see how huge and powerful they all looked. Look at these big men! Pokemon starters don't look like this. This is awesome! I chose the Attack Pack because the big worm guy was my favorite, and then the game forces me to nickname all my Digimon. It's not an option, and if I try to name them their original Digimon names, I can't, because they don't give me enough characters. Again, out of everything I read about this game, this is hilariously not mentioned in anyone's criticism list. I don't know if it's a Digimon thing, or I don't know. So here I, Jaiden, am with my Charmon, Tony Tiger, and Big Worm. I'm not even given a chance to breathe before I'm thrown into this Digimon gang tournament, having to fight for my Digimon and friends' lives and glory, in an environment I'm not even sure how to comprehend. Like, first of all, where are we? This sure doesn't look like the States. Or Japan, I think. Also, what is a Digimon? I win by figuring it out, kind of, not really. Still don't know what's going on. And then win a few more times before the tournament is over, and our team or gang or something, Light Fang, is the winner. Yay, Jaiden! You won the tournament for us! What's going on? Oh my god, what the f is that? In a complete twist in story direction, a genuinely terrifying virus of death spawns and starts turning all the Digimon into Digi-Eggs. Including mine. I checked my guys, and Charmon is the same. Tony Tiger is a bit smaller. But Big Worm is a dinosaur now. He's not a big worm anymore. Now his cleverly tailored nickname doesn't make any sense. How was I supposed to know I was getting fully grown Digi-Guys, and they were gonna turn them back to small Digi-Guys again, and Big Worm starts off as a lizard? That's like the opposite of how evolution works. I knew I didn't know anything about Digimon, but after the past 5 minutes, I've realized I am completely out of my element. I go up and fight the horrific demon virus that I'm IRL scared of, and despite still not knowing what the hell I'm doing, I end up winning, even with my little Digibabies. The virus deuces out, and the head of the Lightfang clan, this Glare guy, that's his name is Glare, is like, this is so weird. Go climb a mountain and look around or something, I guess. I'm sent out to look for virus clues at Login Mountain and run into my Lightfang friend, Kenpa, who's like, I don't know what happened. We got here and all the wild Digimon started attacking me and the other members. They left me behind to be mauled with no escape equipment. I'm fine now, but I think I'm just gonna go back to the city. She does that, and I start traversing the mountain. And this is where I experience my first complaint that everyone was talking about in this game. All the dungeons and areas and stuff are mazes. They're all mazes with absolutely bonkers wild Digimon encounter rates. You don't have a mini-map to know where you're going or where you even are any point of the dungeon. And there's no item to avoid the random encounters. Basically, I am realizing this is like playing a Pokemon game, but the whole game is a maze. You never know where you are because maps don't exist. Everything is wild grass, and there's no repels. I think I chose the wrong game. I end up stumbling my way to the top of the mountain. At least I think it's the top. I have no idea where I am and never will. And the other 2 guys who left a defenseless little girl to be roasted over a Digifire are getting beat up by a Digi-Eagle. I knock the bird in the head hard enough to make him come to his senses, and he apologizes for being mean, which is more than I expected, to be fair. And the guys are saved. By the way, I didn't know that Digimon spoke. I didn't know that they spoke to the people and talked and interacted. It's weird to me. and I never quite got over it. We return to the city and everyone's like, great job, Jaiden, and then suddenly I'm left alone with absolutely no idea what to do or how to continue progressing. I'm trying to figure out if I have to, like, talk to someone or walk into the right room and someone's like, Jaiden, we're all being traumatically and irreversibly turned into digi-eggs over here, or something, I don't know. And I do want to make sure you guys know that even the main hub is a maze. The amount of time I spent trying to figure out where I even am in the supposed safe space of the city overworld was pure comedy and frustration. Why is everything in this game perfectly designed to try and make me never open my DS ever again? I am just wandering around, walking in what I am 60% sure is a circle, left in the dark on what actions I need to take to keep playing a game I no longer want to play. I look it up and figure out that if I want to progress the story, I need to earn it. I have to walk into this building, talk to the digi-clerks, and complete multiple useless side quests that have nothing to do with anything to unlock another chunk of the main game. And let's not forget, all the dungeons are mazes. I said that already, but I want to reiterate. I have to go through mazes, sometimes multiple times, to unlock the important maze, but only for a little bit after I earn just a biscuit, just a crumb of that sweet, sweet story nectar. I'm humbled yet again by being told to go play more errand boy in more pointless mazes as the cycle continues. Surely this game is not serious. Surely this game didn't get an overall average to decent rating on multiple game review sites. Surely the people who said this game was pretty good, all things considered, were secret enemies hoping to pull innocent victims into their dark, dark digiweb, looking to either break the weak or torture the strong. What is going on? Am I the only one who thinks this game was meant to be given to hostages to torture information out of them? I'm 3 hours in and I'm straight up ready to spill my mother's maiden name. And I still don't even know how to play the thing or what a Digimon is, because no, I do not want to read a Bible's worth of tutorials. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the first person to use a Nintendo DS to kill a man. Let me cut this whole show short and just tell you the entire non-fluff plot of the game. Evil Fountain of Youth of Death virus turns all the Digimon into digi-eggs. Lightfang Clan thinks Nightcrow Clan is behind it because their chief is acting strange. Nightcrow Clan thinks Lightfang Clan is behind it because their chief is acting strange. The two realize neither of them are behind it because they've been mind-controlled to act strange. They find out there's an evil Digimon virus thing behind it all. Jaiden beats it up. It fades away and credits roll immediately. Bruh. How long did it take me to experience that story? 15 in-game hours. And I was cheating! I was using speed up and EXP codes and guides and ibuprofen. That time could have easily tripled if I was being a good little squeaky clean angel playing the game in its purest, most intended form. But if I did that, I would have thrown myself into the ocean. And even using all the resources I could find, it still was not a fun experience. Here's a clip of me trying to read a guide after my 5th time of being completely lost in a maze dungeon. If you've unlocked the macro sea, go there and head south, then go up and right to head to the south path leading to another screen, then go left after another screen, then go to the big bridge looking thing on the left. If you don't have the key, head south. Oh my god.
I didn't understand any of that.
I'm freaking out, dude. Not only was I subjected to maze after maze after maze, wild encounter after wild encounter, but throughout all of that, the game still expected me to do a cement mixer amount of grinding. No way, Jose! Do you know how many layers deep this agony cake is already? You want more? Sir, I am but a husk. As you can see, there is not a molecule of serotonin, dopamine, or endorphins in this lifeless body. There is nothing left for you to take. You have created a human raisin. I'm really sorry, Digimon fans. I really have nothing against Digimon as a whole. In fact, I absolutely loved a lot of the Digimon designs. When it comes to monsters and creatures, I have to admit, I am an edgy bitch. So I absorbed those guys like they were a little puddle of muddy water in a scorching barren desert. Because metaphorically speaking, that's what they really were to me. Look at all these fellas! I'm surrounded by everything I could ever want in a monster. Pokemon could never. maybe Aggron. I even got Big Worm back. He's my friend forever. Despite all my efforts, I chose the wrong Digimon game. I really did try. I'm sorry I didn't play Cyber Sleuth. I didn't know the other option was 1,000 punches to the skull. Regardless of the pain this game has inflicted on me, I can, against all odds, say I am coming out of this experience a bit of a Digimon enjoyer. Maybe I still don't know a single thing about any of it, but I have some favorite guys. I think they're cool. This evil game somehow didn't tarnish my view on Digimon as a franchise. I am damaged, but I forgive. One day I will play Cyber Sleuth and hopefully be able to commit to being a fully fledged Digimon fan. That's how I think it works. Until then, Digimoners, I'm worried about you. Please seek therapy. Hello, thank you for watching another video. If you're still here, I would like to announce secretly that I have an announcement, and it's gonna be announced in a couple days, so stay tuned. Alright, cool. Thanks.
For people who have been around for a while, you might be seeing the title and thinking, Jaiden, aren't you allergic to cats? And to that, I'd say, yes. Kind of. I'm actually not sure anymore. And for the people who know anything about me, you might see the title and think, Jaiden, cats are literally the #1 natural predator to birds. And to that, I also say, yes, that one's 100% proven fact. So let me back up a bit and explain how we got here, because all the cards in the world were stacked against the idea of me getting a cat. Growing up, I was irrefutably and absolutely allergic to cats. My best friend had like 3 of the things, and every time I would hang out or sleep over at her house, I would be a sneezy, watery-eyed, snotty mess. Can I have some water? Given the fact my brother was also allergic to cats, it was set that we were a dog family. My whole life I went around not giving cats a second thought. I never had anything actually against them, but since I was forced to stay 20 feet away from them or suffer the consequences, I just couldn't get to know them. Plus, as a kid, dogs were always more appealing. They're more likely to be bigger fans of playing and running around, be more approachable with their genetically bred unconditional love, and can overall be more forgiving. Cut to like 2 catless decades for me later, and I'm meeting Jacob for the first time at his place. As we're hanging out in his living room, his cat Fraser comes over and greets me. Fraser is extremely social and vain, so he's always expecting nothing less than a never-ending stream of attention from the people. Even though he's very cute and distinguished, I deployed my typical foolproof plan of don't touch the cat. Fraser realizes he's not getting any attention out of me and sits down nearby on the couch, but a bit later, Jacob's other cat ends up making an appearance. This one's Taylor. She's normally really shy and hides, but does really like women, which I am. Taylor ended up crawling onto me and making herself really comfy in my womanly lap. Jacob, knowing I'm allergic, offered to take her away, but this was actually the first time a cat has ever done something like this to me. I've always been a bit of a cat magnet, if you want to call it that, because I act like they don't exist, which they interpret as me not pushing their boundaries and creating a comfortable environment for them to come up to me on their own terms. But never have I felt like a cat has chosen me like this before. I told Jacob I'm happy to let her stay comfortable on me, and I'll just reap the consequences of my sewing later on. This was my first extremely positive experience with the cat, and I honestly felt really happy and special and wanted to enjoy it. A few hours later, I'm saying my goodbyes, and during the drive back home, I realized I was completely fine. No sneezing, no itchy eyes, straight up nothing. I was so confused and curious. Thus, the start of my little cat experiment began. Every time I went over to Jacob's place, I would let the cats be as social as they wanted with me. If Taylor wanted to sit by me, I'd let her. If Fraser wanted attention, I would pet him. At one point, while we were watching a movie, Taylor literally decided to lay down on my neck, filling every one of my breaths with cat dander and hair. And you know what happened? No reaction. Not even a little drip of mucus. Somehow, sometime,
I'd grown out of my cat allergy and never noticed. Apparently, every 7 years, people's allergies have the chance to change. Maybe being surrounded by my friends' cats all throughout my childhood could have helped my body get more familiar with them. Either way, I've now unlocked the skill to survive cats. Oh, guys, it was incredible. Now that I'd been freed from my shackles, I immediately started taking time to get to know cats more. Instantly, they felt so much more cute and cool and approachable, and I was really starting to like them more, especially since every time I would hang out at Jacob's place, Taylor would walk over and be around me and purr, and it was amazing to be loved by a cat. So I really like cats now. And after some time, I decided I wanted one too. Jacob and I decided to peruse a local cat rescues website just to see what cats were available. I don't want to get one right away. There's a lot I have going on, but it doesn't hurt to— oh my god, that one! I want that one so bad. It's so cute. What's its name? Tostada? Tostada, my beloved. We have to send in an application. We have to. Hi, my name's Jaiden. I love this cat. Please let me adopt it. Please. What? You guys know me. I'm weak-willed and impulsive. My first mistake was liking cats to begin with. The rescue reached out a few days later for a cat screening interview to make sure we would be a good fit to be cat parents. After being approved, they told us we could pick any cat we wanted that was in their care. Of course, I asked about Tostada, but we were given the unfortunate news that she had already been adopted. No! We looked at the other cats available on their website, but unfortunately none of them really stood out to me. The rescue ended up inviting us to a little Meet the Cats event they were hosting where we could see all the cats they had up for adoption in person, which was awesome because that was actually the first time I'd ever actually seen and held a kitten before. It was amazing. But as cute and tiny as they all were, there still wasn't one that called to me. I pried Jacob away from the kittens, headed home, and we started waiting. Every day I would check the rescue's cat list to see if any new ones caught my eye. I didn't even know what I was looking for, but waited for the universe to send me my perfect cat nonetheless. One morning I refreshed the page and saw one new kitten added. A tortie they found in some dumpster named Scrabble, with the biggest eyes and forehead I'd seen in my life. Something about this bizarre little creature called to me. I messaged the rescue about Scrabble and they told me she's available, putting me in touch with Scrabble's foster parents. Every day they sent me new little pictures of kitten Scrabble, and every photo I fell more and more in love with her. She seemed so silly and playful, and those eyes. We got on a video call and they told me all about how big of a personality she has. Out of the 5 other kittens they were fostering, she was by far their favorite. The whole time we were talking, Scrabble was flipping around in their arms and looking at the camera with her giant orbs. I left that call knowing I found my cat. I needed to have little kitten Scrabble. Meeting her in person only cemented it. She was shy at first, but after flinging around her worm toy, she immediately started hopping around and being the life of the party. I talked a lot to her foster parents and they just gushed about how they wished they could keep her since they all loved her so much. Even though the rescue called her Scrabble, obviously that was more of a placeholder name. The foster parents called her Cammy, but neither of those really fit to me. However, I knew one name that I liked. Tostada. Yeah, I stole another kitten's name and pasted it on mine. So what? Big deal. Tostada is a great name. My Tostada is way more of a tostada than the other Tostada anyway. Look at her. I would have left with little Tostada in my arms that moment if I could. But unfortunately, Jacob and I were going out of town for 3 million weeks and had to wait to take her home until after we came back. She was all I could think about the entire time. I was shoving Tostada photos in everyone's face every chance I got. The foster parents were sending Tostada updates every day. I was overflowing with yearning for this cat. She was growing and learning about the world without me. Take me home to my child. Literally, the moment Jacob and I landed, we drove straight from the airport to the foster home to pick her up. I could not wait. We arrived home with +1 Tostada. I couldn't believe it.
I have a mammal now. And sorry, other mammal owners, but it's the best mammal in the whole wide universe. Jacob and I spent the entire day playing with her, letting her get used to her new surroundings. She was so cute and so tiny. Here's a video of her eating wet food with a big ol' chomp. As someone who's owned birds for 7 years at that point, it felt so strange to have a pet that was significantly less fragile. And also draws significantly less blood. You mean this thing can't fly up and get hit by the ceiling fan? Insane! I've had Tostada for a while now. She's 2 years old at the time of me posting this, and let me tell you, this thing has become a creature. First of all, eyes, still giant, and she never blinks. Look at this. She was sitting on my desk looking like that long enough for me to notice, get my phone out of my pocket, pull up the camera app, put the camera in her face, and take a photo. And here's like 4 more. She is also not that smart. I'm sure you could deduce that by how she looks, but this thing has a single brain cell and it's just another version of herself up there with a joystick. Jacob and I are fully convinced she can only form a few thoughts a day and only in single word nouns. Evidently, Tostada is also very scared of everything, always has been. Loud noises, quiet noises, no noises, movement of any kind. Even Jacob, a person she's been around all her little life post dumpster. There's been times where he'll be at his desk, moves his chair just a smidge, and she's darting out of the room. One time we were trying to explain to some friends how skittish she genuinely can be, and demonstrated it by grabbing a toy literally in front of her, raising it up a bit, lightly dropping it on the floor, still in front of her, and she bolted. You know how cats are genetically built to be good at balancing? Well, Tostada can't even do that. She trips and falls and misplaces her feet all the time. On multiple occasions, she has tried to walk across my L-shaped desk and just missed and fell down. That's like the one thing that makes a cat, and nope, doesn't hit the mark there either. She's gotten better, but as a kitten, Tostada couldn't even jump. After I built her first cat tower, I watched as she attempted to jump up to the 2nd level, not quite make it, and had to slam her arms down on the thing to hoist herself up like she was mountain climbing. But oh, is she the sweetest little thing. When I got a cat, I was expecting it to want its own space, come around when it wants, you know, general cat things. But this creature follows me from room to room with those high beams of hers. She sits on my lap while I'm at my computer, lays on my giant Pokemon plushes, mostly just looks up at me from the floor and just stares. When I'm sleeping, she'll just crawl into bed and tuck herself up right next to me. Look at all these photos of her straight up on me when I'm sleeping. Don't look too close though, I don't have makeup on. Bedtime is sacred to her. She loves bedtime. If I'm working late, Tostada will come into my office around 9 or 10 p.m., aka past Tostada bedtime, and just start crying, scratching on my chair, rolling around on the floor. It's pitiful. And if I still don't move after that, she'll go into the bedroom and drag over her string toy she always plays with. It's just so sad and pathetic. I always play string with her when she brings it over though, don't worry. But lately, she's picked up another routine habit, which is pats. Not all cats like the pats, but Tostada lives off them. It's when you just slap a cat's butt and it looks like you're hurting them, but they actually love it. However, Tostada's really particular about pats. First of all, I'm the only one allowed to give her pats. Jacob has tried and she runs away scared and offended every single time. Second, she has to receive pats on a specific spot on the floor of the closet. If I try to give her pats in like my office, she bolts to her floor spot, staring at me to continue them over there. Also, she begs to be pat every single night. Like clockwork, she'll sit like a gargoyle in front of the closet and cry pitifully until I come over there. Now, when I finally come over for pats, she'll flop on the floor and start horizontally rock climbing her way across the floor with her claws and tangle herself up in the Ethernet cables while I keep up the pats. You think I'm joking, but I'm very much not. This is the only way she accepts pats, and I have to give them to her every night or else she's miserable. Tostada's world is so small. She's really just around me, Jacob, Taylor, and Frasier, but she loves her simple family so much. When Kitten Tostada first met Frasier, she was terrified of him. She'd been around other adult cats before, but she'd never seen a flat cat in her life, and she was mortified. Of course, she's since warmed up to him, and they play together and hang out all the time, and they're best friends, but Tostada
loves Taylor. Always has. She looks up to Taylor like a little baby sister admiring her cool, awesome older sibling. Unfortunately, Taylor hates it. They literally have a SpongeBob Squidward type of sibling relationship, and Tostada is so oblivious to it. Taylor has annoyingly swatted at Tostada so many times just for existing around her that Tostada now thinks it's a fun little game they play and will start chasing and swatting back at Taylor happily, not understanding cat social cues. Of course, never in a way that's too far, but just enough to get on Taylor's nerves even more. Between the three of them, they all have such different little personalities and relationships to each other. It's made our lives so much more entertaining. And to anyone concerned about the birds, don't worry. I've got Ari and Tofu very separated from the cats. They're safe in their own blocked off room connected by a double door system that ensures no possible interaction between bird and cat. If anyone is thinking about getting cats and birds as pets, it is possible, but just make sure the two are very separate, especially if you have smaller birds like conures or budgies. I'm sure there's people out there that have trained their cats to be fine around a pet bird, but to me, all it takes is one accident or attack for you to just not have a bird anymore. Plus, having the two of them takes a huge amount of time and commitment. I've said it before and I'll say it forever. I love my birds to death, but they do not make good pets for the very large majority of people. In terms of allergies, I do think I was originally still a little bit allergic to Tostada, ironically. When I first got her, I was sneezy and sniffling. Nothing allergy pills couldn't fix, and it never was as bad as my original cat allergy. But I think I've been growing out of that one too, because nowadays I don't have any reaction to her at all. Bodies are a mystery. I am building my immunity to everything. Next up is rat poison. I didn't think I would make a video talking about this thing, but Tostada's just got such a funny little personality and has become such a big part of my life. She may be the description of autism, but I love her more than the world itself, and I know I'm the center of her little life too. I don't even see her as a cat. She's just a little creature that follows me around looking weird, but I love it, and I'm so glad I grew out of my cat allergy just so I can have her.
It really has been so different owning a cat, mainly because I know Tostada won't just bite me at any given chance, unlike some avian creatures. Thanks for watching the video. Heads up, I'm going to be announcing new merch again soon, so be on the lookout for that. The last drop went so well, and I'm really glad that so many of you guys enjoyed it. I'm so excited to finally be getting back into making fun merch, and it really helps me out a lot. Alright, sorry, thanks. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Ari, do you know what today is? It's 1 week past your birthday! Yeah, I was planning on posting this on Ari's actual birthday, but the animation I was working on ended up being done that weekend, so I posted that instead, and don't give me that look. I'm gonna make it up to him by throwing him the best birthday celebration he's ever had in his life. Literally. Because he has nothing else to compare it to. He turned 1. I can't believe Ari's already a year old. He's growing up so fast. Seems like just yesterday he was still just a baby.
Ari, do you remember those days?
Do you know what birds look like when they're not weaned yet? Like when they don't have their feathers? Spoiler, helpless bags of flesh and a beak. But they get cute. Birds have the best puberty. Nothing else in the world can go from like a 1 to a solid 12 in a matter of months. Do you want to see Ari's baby pictures? Oh, look at you! I just realized I'm being such a parent and showing baby pictures to all your friends and making you embarrassed. But how can I not? So what I wanted to do was bake Ari a cake, but birds shouldn't really have dairy, so I tried to Google if there were bird cakes, and all I found were these seed things, so that's what we're doing, I guess.
Okay, so there's 2 that I want to try out, and I'll start with this first one. It kinda looks like a cake. I mean, I don't know. It uses yarn, but I don't have yarn, so we're not doing that. There's also this like thing at the top that says, motherhood is an amazing journey. It's something, get it now. And I read it as, motherhood, get it now. I don't know. Thanks, but I'm good for now. Okay, so it says the supplies is day-old bread,
Nothing but the best for Ari. Peanut butter and bird seed. And I don't have bird seed, so I'm just gonna use these like seed balls that he likes and just like crush them into their original form. It also says that you need a heart-shaped cookie cutter, but I looked and we don't have a heart-shaped cookie cutter. All I found was this like Santa, I think it's supposed to be, so we're doing birthday Santa. Did that work? Oh, that didn't work. Maybe if I just, okay, you can just rip it off. Pro tip, life tip. And then there's your, there's your birthday Santa. I freaking love peanut butter. All right, so that looks good, I think. As good as it's gonna get. So now we're gonna crush up the bird seed. Do I have a masher? I don't know if this is gonna work, but this is made for potatoes, so it must work with seeds. Oh, that was so efficient. Holy crap. Look how good that is. I surprised myself. And you sprinkle on that magic, and there you go. Perfect! That's exactly what I was going for. If someone brought that to me on my birthday, I'd be like, how do you know this is exactly what I wanted? I wanted to try this no-bake cookie recipe, it says as well. It says it's for squirrels and birds. I don't have a squirrel, but if you do, then keep watching, I guess. Okay, so for this one it says you need more peanut butter, rolled oats, some walnuts, and I noticed that they had a missed opportunity to call them walnuggets, but whatever. And it says yellow cornmeal. Now, I didn't have any of this in my pantry, so I had to go out and buy this huge thing of cornmeal. This is the smallest container I could find. It's like this huge, it's a 1 pound thing of cornmeal, and I'm never gonna probably ever use it again. There's recipes on the back, and it says cornmeal mush. That is one attractive food name if I do say so myself. All right, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. There's got to be a more efficient way of doing this. If there is one, I don't know it. 2 tablespoons of oats. 1, 2. And add the walnuts. It says 2. Make sure they're really like small, so I'll have to crunch them. Look at this huge knife. Did you know that walnuts are one of the most healthy nuts you can have? They're high in omega-3s and manganese, and I think it's copper as well. They're good at treating diabetes and cancer. So if anyone says, Jaiden, do you have any life tips? Eat some walnuts. It'll save your life. Or at least enhance the quality of it. Walnuts are so great. Ari should be thanking me. Nutrition is important, kids. 2 tablespoons of walnuts. I bought all this cornmeal. I only need a tablespoon. Stirring this mixture around. It's kind of clumpy. Did anyone watch Blue's Clues as a kid? And then like the salt and pepper guys would be like, mixa, mixa, mixa. That's what I feel like right now. Oh shoot, it said to microwave the peanut butter. I wonder if it's too late for that now. You know what? I'll take my chance. That really didn't do much. Wasted 20 seconds of my time. And then it says just scoop them into little balls. It feels like sand. What if I just gave it to Ari like this? There you go, buddy. Happy birthday. It's really hard to like squish them into... What if I made it into cubes? Be rebellious like that? You thought I was gonna follow the recipe? Nope. That's all I'm doing for now. I want to arrange it all pretty like... Kind of looks like a satanic ritual. Happy birthday to you. Ah! Ooh. Do you like it? Leave us alone. We're having a birthday party. Sparks Relix or whatever it was. Come on. Try it. I spent all this time. You know, this is all kind of like just normal edible food, so I'm kind of curious if it's actually good. I mean, it's just peanut butter and oats. It's what you would expect. I forgot the bread was a day old. Honestly, it's not bad. You're being a brat. People are gonna say, Jaiden, you ate bird food. It's seeds and peanut butter and bread. Come on.
You know, Ari's a simple bird. He doesn't need all this fancy seed stuff to have a good birthday treat. What makes him happy is fruit.
Cut up some fruit, and I know he'll like this instead. Like, he's already so excited. He's like, oh my god, fruit. Here's an apple. Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? And then strawberries. He likes to just eat the seeds off the... Oh, bad example. I was gonna say he likes to just like pick the seeds off the top first, but you just gotta make a liar out of me. I always just give it to him in cubes, but I kind of want to know what he does if I just give him the whole apple. Well, Ari eats that. I also got a dragon fruit. I've never had dragon fruit, but it looks beautiful. Now, I've also seen that the flavor's like underwhelming and kind of like not that good, but I'm gonna be the judge of that. I don't know how to cut it, so I think I'm just gonna slice right through it. Look at that! That's so pretty! Beautiful. I actually think Ari would like this a lot because it's got like seeds in it and he loves seeds. So I'm gonna let him eat it first because it's his birthday. He went around the edge. Wanna try some? Oh, he's a bit scared. He's like, the frick is that, Jaiden? Last chance. It's got seeds. I think you'd like it. Just give it a shot. So, it's okay. The little seeds kind of taste, they remind me of sesame seeds, which is, it's okay. It's like sesame with a little bit of sweetness. It's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't buy it again, and it definitely wasn't worth $6, might I add. Blackberries are his favorite, but I hate giving them to him because what he does is he rips them up and flings all the juice and seeds all over the place. Look at this wall. Are you happy with yourself, mister?
Actually, I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't know Ari's gender. Okay, so here's the thing, alright? For birds, well, at least for green-cheeked conures, which is what Ari is, the only way you can really tell if they're a boy or a girl is to get a DNA test. There's literally no other difference, unless it's too late and you've got a bunch of eggs all over the place. And a test costs $25. So you know what? Ari doesn't need some test to tell him, her what they are. Whatever label it wants to give itself, I will love her no matter what. As Bill Nye says, gender is a spectrum. It's 2017, we're a progressive era. You know that meme where it's like, I identify as an attack helicopter? Ari can literally be that if he wants. I see people asking me all the time, wait, is Ari a boy? What's Ari's gender? First of all, hasn't Tumblr taught you that gender is irrelevant? And second, all of them. We don't assume here. So Jaiden, since Ari's all grown up, have you taught him any tricks? Psh, yeah, of course.
Go potty. Good bird.
Ari doesn't have any friends except me, so I can't throw him a birthday party, but he loves taking baths, so we're gonna throw him a birthday shower. Sounds lame, but it's not, okay?
Have you ever seen a bird take a bath? Did you enjoy that? You look like a drowned rat. Yay! I would say that's a successful bath.
You know what Ari also likes to do? Push everything they can off tables and counters. Look.
There's water in there. I gotta clean this up. Oh, look at...
I hope you had a good birthday, dude. You're officially 1 year old now. People always Google what rights you get when you turn like 18 or 21. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. If you were a human, you'd be standing up on your own. Here's to another year. Jaiden, I thought Ari was a doggo. Here's the thing. We don't assume species either. Just let Ari be Ari. That's all that matters.